against the Angels. Barring a ninth-inning comeback, the Yankees will be just a half game out of the wild card as we begin this game tonight. Hi, everybody. Dan Schulman, Oral Hershiser, and Steve Phillips here at Yankee Stadium. And glad you're along with us for what should be a great game and a great pitching matchup, beginning with the Red Sox 16-game winner, Josh Beckett.
Josh Beckett going for number 17, which would be number 1 in the big leagues. He has been outstanding this year, but he doesn't need to think of this game as a huge game. He just needs to be himself and be consistent. If you think about what he has done this year, avoiding the home run ball, only 10, which is second in the American League. Last year, 36 of those. So you know what? He's been outstanding. He's throwing strikes, and I think he's going to keep doing it again tonight.
And opposing Beckett, the guy he idolized when he was growing up in Texas, Roger Clemens.
Well, the 45-year-old veteran pitcher, Roger Clemens. It's been a little up and downs for him so far, only 5-5 on the season, but at home, a 3-1 record. You see the ERA. He thrives here off of the emotions of the Yankee crowd. They get him going. He has given up his share of hits here at Yankee Stadium, but he makes the big pitch when he needs to because the crowd's behind him, and the Yankees need him to come up big tonight as they pursue the Mariners in the wild card.
The Yankees have been getting wins from the likes of Andy Pettitte and Ching-Ming Wang, but not so certain out of the rest of the rotation. They need a big effort tonight from Roger Clemens, taking on the likes of David Ortiz in that Boston Red Sox lineup. Meanwhile, the Yankees, led by A-Rod, have been the best offensive team in baseball since the All-Star break.
ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball is presented by Goodyear, innovative technology to help you get there. And in part by Baby Ruth from Nestle. Savor the good stuff of the official candy bar of Major League Baseball. Marriott Hotels and Resorts. Plug in the new ultra-adaptable room from Marriott. And Progressive. Visit Progressive.com today.
What a nightmare.
Without silent armor tires, getting home could be a real pain.
That's why I became a blimp pilot, to avoid all that stuff.
Not the main reason, but definitely in the top 10.
Goodyear Silent Armor technology, featuring a layer made with Kevlar, a material that's pound for pound 5 times stronger than steel for toughness, and a comfort zone for a smooth, quiet ride.
Number 4, employee cafeteria. Number 3, the ladies love the uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear, get there.
They are the sharpshooters, the rainmakers, the Mr. Big Shots. We set them up with strength, power, and free high speed, and assist their fadeaways with a dream team of sumptuous beds and linens as crisp and cool as the other side of the pillow.
Courtyard, redesigned by business travelers for business travelers.
Boom shakalaka.
In the old days, shopping for car insurance meant going to company after company, filling out form after form, and getting quotes one at a time. Today, you go to one place, Progressive.com. You get the Progressive Direct rate plus those other companies' rates in about 8 minutes. It's that simple. Start at Progressive.com and get all the information you need to make the best decision in about 8 minutes. Go to Progressive.com today.
You are cordially invited to the event. The summer sales event from Lexus. The event, now through September 4th.
How can you get pizzeria taste without the pizzeria place? With new DiGiorno Ultimate pizzeria taste right in your home. New DiGiorno Ultimate uses whole milk mozzarella, plump mushrooms and sausage, thick pepperoni, and julienne peppers for authentic pizzeria taste. But while the pizzeria seats you next to the team from Manny's Plumbing,
We won, guys. That's great.
with new DiGiorno Ultimate, you sit by someone much nicer.
This really worked out.
For ultimate pizzeria taste, it's new DiGiorno Ultimate.
How you doing?
My boyfriend was beaten to death.
On September 14th,
I never understood how people live with fear, and then it touched me.
once the line is crossed, can you ever turn back? Jodie Foster.
What are you, a cop?
The Brave One. Rated R. Starts September 14th.
I want you to meet the 2007 Cleveland Indians.
Brady Sizemore! Victor Martinez! What a performance by Sabathian.
You like a dark horse, a big heart?
The Indians find a way to win again.
David versus Goliath? Of course you do.
Unbelievable!
You're a fan. Watch like one.
These fans want a curtain call.
There's only one postseason. There's only one fall classic. There's only one October.
Telecast is available in astonishing high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Sharp Aquos. And hi, everyone. Scott Reese here in our Wednesday Night Baseball studios. We will get you out to the Bronx momentarily for the first pitch, but first things first, afternoon action, which is of paramount importance to Yankee fans. The Mariners leading the Yanks by a game in the wild card, hosting the Angels, and Yankee fans cheering every Angel long ball. Jeff Mathis makes it a 3-1 game with his second of the year, and Vladdy going upstairs off of Felix Hernandez, number 22 for Guerrero. Right now we've got an 8-2 game, so if the Yankees win, that score holds up, we could have a tie atop the wild card. Elsewhere tonight, it's Sabathia versus Santana. Carlos Zambrano and Ben Sheets in that Brewers-Cubs game. We'll have all the action throughout the night from the studio. Now we get you back out to Dan, Oral, and Steve. Guys.
All right, Scott, thank you. 45-year-old Roger Clemens starting against his original team, the Boston Red Sox, here tonight. A 5-5 record on the season for the Rocket. And a look at the Boston Red Sox lineup. And boy, could the Red Sox use some offense from J.D. Drew. David Ortiz is hot, but Manny Ramirez is out of the lineup tonight with a strained oblique. And J.D. Drew has been a big-time underachiever in his first year in Boston. That one home run that he's hit in his last 52 games came on Sunday. Oral, when you look at Roger Clemens and his body of work this season, what do you see?
Well, it's kind of up and down. I think the signing was great emotionally for the Yankees. His last outing against Detroit, he got roughed up. A lot of it was his back leg. He had a big blister on his big toe from a lot of hard work on his side work. I think it's healed up tonight. He'll be able to get the ball down.
The Yankees just 6-8 in Roger Clemens' 14 starts with him this season as Julio Lugo looks at his strike. Lugo spent much of the early part of the season as the leadoff hitter for the Red Sox, but with that low batting average and that low on-base percentage, finds himself hitting near the bottom of the order more often than not. He slams one down to first, and Jason Giambi, of all people, makes a diving stop to record the out.
Well, you can never hide a guy that hasn't been in the field very much during the season. Giambi getting the opportunity because of good offensive numbers against Josh Beckett. And Lugo takes a pitch away, drives it, and Jason Giambi playing in a little bit because of Lugo's speed, able to react and make the play.
Roger drives the ball downhill, threw a pretty decent pitch, had him behind it. Lugo taking it the opposite way. Giambi, half a step and a dive. And a swat.
Here's Dustin Pedroia. The breaking ball misses outside, ball one. Jason Giambi not playing every day, and when he does play, DHs more often than plays first. But there are other players who need to DH from time to time, and tonight Hideki Matsui, who's got some bad knees, is the Yankee designated hitter. The strike taken by Pedroia, who's been a great story for Boston this year after really struggling offensively in April. He's hit about .340 since the 1st of May, and that has moved him into the top 10 in the American League in batting. A very confident young player as he takes a pitch off the elbow and immediately races down to first base. Let's check out the defense now for the Yankees behind Roger Clemens, and one of the big changes, Steve, for them, Melky Cabrera becoming the everyday center fielder.
Well, it's made a major difference for them as well. Much better range than Johnny Damon in center field. And it's really one of the things that propelled this Yankee team to turn their season around. He's gotten on base, swinging the bat as well, but outfield defense dramatically improved with Cabrera out there.
So Pedroia at first with one out here in the top of the first inning, and the batter is David Ortiz. Pedroia back in easily. Ortiz's home run numbers pale in comparison to a year ago, but the batting average, the doubles, the on-base percentage, all of those very strong, and the power stroke has started to return as Ortiz has gotten healthier over the course of the season. He's been battling some nagging ailments.
Had some leg injuries, quad injuries, and remember, power doesn't come from the arms and the upper body. It comes from the legs and the rotation of the hips, and he was bothered for a couple of months during the season, unable to really drive the back hip and drive the ball.
You're pretty good when that's an off year. You're in the top 10 of the American League in so many offensive categories, and people are still wondering what's wrong with the big guy.
On the offensive side of the equation, he's going to get some MVP votes. You look at Manny Ramirez's year this year, kind of very, mediocre, especially for Manny. But David has been, the solidifying link in the middle of this lineup.
Fouled back, and it's 1-1 on Ortiz. And things have gone very well for Terry Francona's Boston Red Sox this year. A 7-game lead atop the American League East, a division that's been won by the Yankees each of the last 9 years. And the strength of the Red Sox team really has been their pitching. The depth of their starting rotation and their bullpen has the best ERA in the American League. Josh Beckett, one of 2 16-game winners they've got on their staff already.
Well, when you talk about the bullpen and Timmy Wakefield having a great year, he and Beckett at 16. Wakefield just continues to be a solidifier. But you think about the bullpen, the emotional lift the bullpen of the Red Sox gives them. They win all the games they're supposed to win, and they give them room to come back and get wins with their offense.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Ortiz, who will question Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire. Ortiz was in a much better mood before the game, spent a long time over near the third base dugout, hopping up on a railing and signing autographs, tossing balls into the seats and letting fans throw things toward him, and he would sign them and send them back. A picture of relaxation as always. But behind in the count here, the runner is going, pitch taken outside, throw down, and out at second is Dustin Pedroia. We had to wait a long time for the call from Ted Barrett to see if the tag was applied and if Pedroia missed the bag or overslid the bag.
It looked as though that he would have been safe, but he ended up sliding past the base, and Derek Jeter stayed with the tag. You see a pretty good jump there. Jeter misses. He actually gets him as he goes by the base. He would have been safe right there, and then as he goes by, his hand comes off. Derek Jeter does a good job staying with the tag and gets him.
Now the 2-2 swung on, and a foul tip in and out of the glove of Posada. I think Posada's saying, are you sure he fouled that ball off? It will remain 2-2, and Roger Clemens is asking for an appeal down to third base as well.
Well, Clemens is trying to appeal. He's trying to argue that Jorge Posada was just trying to take the ball out of his glove, and that's why he dropped it. As you see, a fastball away, 91 miles per hour. It is foul tip.
Never had control.
Never had control of it, but it's a nice sales job by Roger Clemens.
2 outs, nobody on, and a 2-2 count on David Ortiz. Now full.
Well, Roger Clemens looks on top of his game so far. He's throwing strikes. He's leveraging the ball downhill. He's hitting 92 miles an hour. These are things we didn't see in his last outing against Detroit.
The shift on to a certain extent against Ortiz, with Cano way out in shallow right field. And the 3-2 swung on and lifted in the air to shallow left center. Melky Cabrera is there, and the Red Sox are gone. 16-game winner Josh Beckett will take them out against the Yankees when we come back.
Separate yourself from the herd. The innovative Ridgeline from Honda.
Grandpa, let me tell you about my trip. I went to a safari. I saw zebras and rhinos.
There's a place where new worlds are opened right before your eyes, where dreams have no bounds, and dance with the possibilities.
So fun. Next time, will you come with me?
Come live your dream. Disney Parks, the place where dreams come true.
Come on, let's go. They're leaving the flats wide open, wide open. Send my wings deep up the sidelines. You roll out and look for him. When Jamison comes off his initial block, he's behind the linebacker. Just dump it off to him. It's a touchdown. Okay? Let's make it happen. Make it happen.
Look good, because millions can see you on SportsCenter. Upload your sports moment to ESPN.com for a chance to be in your own Dick's Sporting Goods commercial.
Bottom of the first inning here at Yankee Stadium. ESPN 2 Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Goodyear. The Red Sox with nothing across in the top half of the first And here come the Yankees with the best lineup in baseball the second half of the season. Johnny Damon with a 2-run home run last night that stood up as the game winner. Derek Jeter, a bruised knee, but he homered last night as well after sitting out Sunday. Bobby Abreu, a better second half, restored to his 3 spot in the lineup. Alex Rodriguez, the major league leader in home runs and RBIs. One of the hitters who's really heated up in the second half for the Yankees is Hideki Matsui. Jorge Posada perhaps having his best overall season. Jason Giambi, we've already seen the defense tonight. He'll be the first baseman. Robinson Cano, another hot hitter in the second half of the Yankees. And the everyday center fielder and number 9 batter is Melky Cabrera. On the mound for the Boston Red Sox, 16-game winner Josh Beckett. Steve, what has been the big difference for Beckett this season?
Well, it's been the use of his secondary pitches. Last year he was a thrower. This year he's been a pitcher. The outstanding curveball and changeup have been effective.
Damon leads it off and looks at a fastball in for a strike. Damon with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th last night. A ball that went about 315 feet down the right field line. Just made it into the seats. Broke a 3-3 tie. And it held up as the winner. The Yankees winning 5-3. Damon feeling much healthier than he did earlier in the season. Had calf problems, all sorts of physical ailments. But is starting to look like the Johnny Damon that both Yankee fans and once upon a time Red Sox fans rooted for.
Well, he has started to catch fire, and the health has been the biggest reason. Even coming back as far as spring training, there were health issues that didn't allow him to get into the greatest shape, and that started to spiral out of control. But now finally catching fire. Actually played through a lot of injuries that on another team he would have been on the DL.
Up and away, 3-1 on Damon.
I think you have to credit Johnny Damon and Jason Giambi for that matter. 2 guys who are very proud, who were everyday players throughout their careers. And this year they were banged up a little bit, but have come back and haven't gotten the substantial playing time they've been used to, but have kept their mouth quiet and just gone out and played the game.
Sharply hit down to first, blocked by Youkilis, and he'll beat Damon to the bag for out number 1. You can hear some Red Sox fans here tonight cheering Youkilis on as we set the Boston defense for you and focusing on third baseman Mike Lowell.
Well, Mike Lowell, 15 errors down there this year. That's a career high. Remember last year, this Boston defense, how solid it was. It was airtight. Well, Lowell only had 6 errors. Struggling a little bit down there with the glove, but we haven't seen the tail off at all offensively. Having a great year offensively.
He is the club leader in RBIs and on pace to drive in over 100 this year. Here's Derek Jeter hitting .318 on the season, and as we mentioned, he sat out Sunday with a bruised knee, something that had been bothering him for over a week, and Joe Torre has to wrestle Jeter out of the lineup whenever there's any kind of a problem. But a home run to right center, a very good sign for Derek Jeter in last night's game.
When Derek Jeter's right, he thinks about hitting the ball to right field, right center field. When he starts cheating and opening up a little bit, it's a sign for Joe Torre that something's physically not right with Jeter.
He hits it a long way to right field, over the head of Drew and off the wall. Backed up by Crisp, and Jeter contented with a 1-out double.
Steve, you talk about when he's right, what he does, and this was an at-bat that Derek Jeter, we will see it all over his highlight film when he retires and is a Hall of Famer, taking an inside fastball and driving it the other way. Got just enough underspin and side spin on it to continue over J.D. Drew's head. But I'll tell you what, there is a team captain right there. Talking to him before the game, I said, hey, congratulations on another great year. He immediately switched pronouns on me and said, we're not where we want to be yet.
And Derek Jeter's never missed the postseason. Well, the Yankees have not missed the playoffs since 1993. That's pre-wild card era. No postseason, of course, in '94. And the Yankees have been division champs every year, each of the last 9 seasons. As Bobby Abreu, as Jason Varitek will head out to the mound to talk to Josh Beckett. The Yankees at the moment are now just a half game out of the wild card lead. Joe Torre and all the Yankees can look up on the scoreboard here at Yankee Stadium and see that Seattle has lost again. They lost to the Angels again this afternoon. And right now the Yankee offense is on fire, producing the way that many people thought they would produce right from the beginning of the season. Runner at second, 1 out for Bobby Abreu. Look at the updated standings. No change, obviously, in the East, but with the Seattle loss, the Yankees just a half game out.
The Seattle Mariners ran into the buzzsaw that has been their problem all season long, the Los Angeles Angels. And now 10-4 are the Angels against the Mariners this year. Seattle just has not been able to beat the team in front of them in the standings.
And by the way, Seattle is here in New York for a 3-game series beginning Monday. Another huge series between a couple of playoff contenders. Abreu pops one up back of third. Backpedaling is Lowell to make the grab for the second out. And now it'll be Alex Rodriguez, the major league leader in home runs and RBIs, against Josh Beckett, the co-leader in wins in the majors with 16. Not bad with a month to go.
I'll say.
In a year where offense is down slightly and home runs are down significantly.
We're on pace for over 500 less home runs this season than last year. Alex Rodriguez, one of the few putting up similar numbers this season as he did last season.
First pitch fastball and a foul back by A-Rod, 0-1, and 96 miles an hour over the outside corner with that first pitch.
And not only the numbers are outstanding, but for me this year the attitude has been outstanding. Watching the emotions of Alex Rodriguez grow this year, the way he's confronted the pressure, the whole audience here in New York, and continued to just blossom really as a player. If you can still blossom and be one of the greatest ever.
Curveball in the dirt, 1-1.
Well, this is one of those situations that in the past Yankee fans and the media have gotten on Alex Rodriguez, is hitting with runners in scoring position, but this year hitting over 300. Late in the games he's been as clutch as anybody around. His 9th inning numbers are off the charts this year, and he's really answered all of those questions and all of the criticisms that people have levied against him with an outstanding performance this season.
Well, he has had to earn his pinstripes one at a time. You know, some nights you have that night where you become a Yankee, and it's Alex has to earn the stripe every night.
But do you think ultimately, no matter what he does in the regular season, that he'll be judged on what he does in October, assuming the Yankees get there?
I think that's likely. The question is, if they don't get to the playoffs, how will he be judged? And I think that's a wild card question that we really don't know, because the Yankee fans and the media put so much emphasis on only what happens in October.
Derek Jeter out at second with 2 down. No score here in the bottom of the first. The Yankees winning 5-3 last night. They'll meet again, these two teams, tomorrow afternoon. Breaking ball and an awkward looking swing there by Rodriguez. The count 2-2.
When you can make the best hitter in baseball flinch and make an awkward swing, you know you have outstanding velocity that he's slightly intimidated by. He needs to get started, and you have outstanding break on your breaking ball. The spin on that breaking ball must be so tight that it looks like a 4-seam fastball to make Alex swing like that.
79-mile-an-hour breaking ball to complement the 96-mile-an-hour fastball that we've seen from Beckett tonight. And a curveball for strike 3 called, and A-Rod knew it. Great job of pitching there by Beckett to retire Rodriguez. Jeter stranded out at second. Through an inning here in the Bronx, Beckett and the Red Sox scoreless against the Yankees.
The war in Europe is over. The unconditional surrender.
This is our country.
After 90 years in the making, this is our truck. Silverado from Chevy. The most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road.
This is our country.
There's no way to hide it. If you drive drunk, we will find you. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement and cracking down like never before.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Make no mistake, you will get caught and you will be arrested. over the limit, under arrest.
Well, gold is more than just a color for Century 21. It's a standard. What I do, it's about service. So much of my job is about things you don't see, the research and negotiations, so that you don't walk into a home that you're not interested in. Because time is gold. So that when that sold sign goes up, you struck gold.
Century 21. The gold standard.
Single again. Will I still look eligible with gray hair? Is that all people will see? How do you make a clean break?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute Target Gray technology.
Dating again is easier than I thought. And you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Well, normally Manny Ramirez would be advancing toward home plate right now, but he left last night's game with what at the time was described as a back problem. Today the Red Sox say it is more of a strained oblique, something he aggravated on a swing last night. Not available tonight, unlikely to play tomorrow night, but the oblique is the kind of thing, guys, it can be 48 hours or it can turn into a couple of weeks pretty quickly.
Well, it sure can. You can turn out to be even like worse than a broken bone sometimes if you just keep aggravating it.
So Mike Lowell moves up to the cleanup spot. A day game again tomorrow. And it was already bothering Manny, but on that swing right there, you can see the grimace. It's a base hit to center field, but you can see how cautiously he's making his way down the line.
Well, the fact they're talking about days instead of weeks, actually, I think is a good sign that it's nothing that significant, that serious. And you see Manny standing there moving around fairly well. I mean, when you've really got there, you almost go down like you've been shot. And he's moving around okay there. And a lot of times it hurts when you breathe. I don't think it's that significant, but they have the margin in the standings right now to be able to rest him.
7-game lead over the Yankees atop the division as Clemens misses again, and the count goes to 2-2 on Lowell, who moves up to cleanup. Youkilis drops down to number 5 to give a little more protection there. The 2-2. And a grounder foul up the third baseline.
And you talk about the cushion that the Red Sox have to be able to rest Manny and make sure he's really completely healed. They're playing for rest right now. When they win games, it allows them that cushion the last week to 10 days possibly to rest their team going into the playoffs. The Yankees are playing for survival and to get to the playoffs.
If the Yankees can win tonight and again tomorrow and get it down to 5, then maybe if you're a Red Sox fan or a member of the Red Sox organization, all of a sudden you're not quite so comfortable. But even if the Red Sox split tonight and tomorrow and get out of here with a 7-game lead, things look awfully good.
Well, the standing is in the Red Sox. The schedule's in the Red Sox favor. They don't have that difficult a schedule as the rest of September unfolds. I don't think they're going to be that panicked. I think their view is if they win 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3 here, they're fine. They'll continue to play it and not get worried about the Yankees behind them.
The 2-2 again. And Lowell sends a fly ball to left field. Damon backing up, feeling for the fence, but he's a few feet in front of it as he makes the grab, 1 down. And we go to Scott Reese in the studio for a Sports Center 30 at 30 update.
All right, Dan, with Michael Vick technically in default of his contract, the Falcons are seeking to recover $20 million in bonuses paid to him under the terms of the 10-year extension he signed Christmas Eve of '04. And the Milwaukee Bucks will have their top draft pick at training camp. They signed Yi Jianlian after the Chinese forward had said he wanted to be traded to a city with a larger Asian population. Sports Center, 11 Eastern, and stay current with ESPN News, guys.
All right, Scott, Kevin Youkilis bloops one down the right field line, and good range by Bobby Abreu to make the catch before running up against the tarp. Yankees really not known for their defense, but Abreu's made a nice catch. Giambi made a terrific play in the first inning.
Youkilis normally patient, but jumping on a high fastball by Clemens. You see Abreu hustling all the way. The ball curves the most at the end as it loses its velocity. Yelling, "I've got it." Heads up for the tarp. Go ahead and wrap yourself around it. Don't get your knees hurt at all.
And one of the advantages of playing at home is certainly the crowd and how they get into it with the emotions, but it's also knowing the stadium, knowing your field, knowing how much distance you have once you hit the warning track to where you get to the wall or the tarp.
2 outs, nobody on, and here's J.D. Drew. And more as the season's gone along, Drew has come under more and more scrutiny. And were it not for the 7-game lead for the Red Sox, you can imagine what would be said and written about J.D. Drew. Just 7 home runs and 46 RBIs in the first year of a 5-year, $70 million deal.
He's supposed to be one of the main cogs, and really without the other peripheral parts coming through the way they have, Lowell and Pedroia, J.D. Drew, a huge disappointment.
When you look at the numbers, you say, all right, well, if you're having a down season, well, maybe at least put up good numbers against the Yankees. Well, he's not even doing that, and it's been a disappointment. But it's set up to be one of those ones where he has a tough season, and October could change everything with Red Sox fans' eyes.
Outside, Clemens issues a 2-out walk. There are a lot of Red Sox fans here at Yankee Stadium, and we can hear them periodically cheering a play by Youkilis, although those guys might not have been in their real seats. Looks like they just got booted.
Yeah, how do you know at Yankee Stadium, how do you know when they're going to boo that it's not actually a Yankee fan booing Youkilis? I mean, well, we could go with it that they're Red Sox fans.
That's funny.
Papelbon was in the wrong seat, it looked like, huh?
Papelbon and Ortiz are getting taken to their proper seats. Hey, never hurts to try, right? Here's Jason Varitek. And he'll take high ball 1. All of a sudden, Clemens has lost his command, and Posada, who over the years, and Oral, tell me what you know or think from afar. The story seems to be that over the years, Posada has done a better and better job of handling pitchers and has really embraced that part of the game more and more.
Well, I think you're right. I think early on, learning just the mechanics of being a catcher, he was very raw early in his career, and slowly but surely has learned not only the mechanical skills behind the plate, but the personal skills of how to lead a team. And I think having a great year also offensively gives you a little more ego behind the plate to lead the staff.
Free agent at the end of the season, one of a number of prominent players who could be elsewhere next year. And Clemens again misses up and away, ball 2.
Well, guys, Jorge Posada is having an MVP caliber season this year. When you look at the offensive production, the .331 batting average, I mean, the power numbers, slugging numbers, on base percentage, he's like 3rd in the American League in on base percentage, and all of the different pitchers that they've had go through this organization this year, he's done an unbelievable job leading this team.
You talk about the number of pitchers. 41 rookies have started for the Yankees this year. You think about being a catcher and dealing with all of that, with a Mike Messina losing his abilities and his velocity right now, going through that struggle most of the year, gaining a Roger Clemens and waiting for his arrival.
Mike Messina will not make his next scheduled start. He's going to be skipped at least once. Ball 4 again. Back-to-back walks to Drew and Varitek after 2 are out. And again, as we mentioned, the Yankees have been getting great pitching from Andy Pettitte. Shin-Ming Wang has been doing what they expect of him. But in the Clemens, Messina, and Hughes 3, 4, 5 spots in the rotation, it's really been a crapshoot. Here comes Ron Guidry. And Ian Kennedy is going to be called up from the minor league system to start in place of Messina on Saturday. And after that, it's anybody's guess. If Kennedy pitches well, he may stay. Messina is not expected to be used in relief between, say, over the next week. They want him to throw on the side as he normally would, skip a start, a bit of a mental health break, and perhaps work his way back into the rotation 2 turns from now.
Well, Mike Messina has really struggled over his last 3 starts, and he really right now the issue is, does he have the stuff to get hitters out? He doesn't seem to have a pitch that he can throw within the strike zone and get out. He throws it out, he gets himself behind in the count, and when he comes in, he's been punished.
1st and 2nd, 2 down, and a slider for a strike to Coco Crisp. Crisp, the center fielder, hitting in the 8th spot, batting .270 on the season with 5 home runs. Drew is at second. Varitek is at first for the Red Sox. No score here in the top of the 2nd inning.
Well, 2 breaking balls there to Chris from Roger Clemens after walking the 2 hitters with fastballs, almost throwing those balls uphill. Throws the slider and then the split, which are 2 pitches that make you get out in front and throw the ball downhill. So you think fastball command not there, so keep throwing the fastball? No, throw a breaking ball, get out front.
Grounded down to first. Giambi's got it, and the inning is over. Couple of 2-out walks, but no damage done. On to the bottom of the 2nd. No score here in the Bronx.
I remember watching that on TV with my dad. I was just a little guy, so it was just another home run to me. But my dad leaned over and said to me, "Charlie, remember this day. And remember, you can do anything." Whenever I see footage of that home run, I think about Hank. And I think about my dad.
This personal home run moment brought to you by State Farm.
There's a new home run champion.
These dogs use their noses to find things that are hidden. I'm also trained to find things that hide, like the internet, using the AT&T Laptop Connect card. Boom, internet found, hiding like a tiny criminal. Customer needs a widget, access inventory at mobile broadband speed, widget ordered, widget delivered, customer happy. Hurrah!
The internet can't hide anymore. Get the Laptop Connect card for only $49.99 and work in more places worldwide than anyone else. Singular's name is now AT&T.
I, Tony Sinclair, went on a quest for cocktail nirvana, and I found it.
Discover Tanqueray Rum Cool, the new mixable gin that goes with everything.
What's next? Ice cubes that don't melt.
Always in moderation.
How can you get pizzeria taste without the pizzeria place? With new DiGiorno Ultimate, pizzeria taste right in your home. New DiGiorno Ultimate uses whole milk mozzarella, plump mushrooms and sausage, thick pepperoni, and julienne peppers for authentic pizzeria taste. But while the pizzeria seats you next to the team from Manny's Plumbing,
guys. Let's play.
with new DiGiorno Ultimate, you sit by someone much nicer.
This really worked out.
For ultimate pizzeria taste, it's new DiGiorno Ultimate.
How you doing? Back in the Bronx, no score between the Red Sox and the Yankees as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Here on Wednesday Night Baseball, and time now to take a look back at our Roberto Clemente moment presented by the U.S. Marines. His final hit, career hit number 3,000, late in the 1972 season for one of the greats the game has ever known. Later on that winter, Clemente organized earthquake relief flights from Puerto Rico down to Central America and died in a plane crash the very next year. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, becoming its first Hispanic member. 4 batting championships, an unbelievable defensive player with a great arm, great range, a World Series MVP, and a player who to this day is revered in Puerto Rico, with so many young players opting to wear number 21 as they come up through the minors and get to the majors. Here's Hideki Matsui to face Josh Beckett to lead off the bottom of the second. Matsui, as we mentioned, because of bad knees, DHing more and more. Sometimes he's in left and Damon DHs, sometimes the other way around. But nothing wrong with the bat. A great surge by him in the second half of the season, and he's got big numbers. At the knees, 1-1.
A very proud individual. You think that when he was hurt, how he apologized to the fans for not being out there, actually, you know, embarrassed that he couldn't play every day. And now with the knees, you know, the chronic knees have to drive him crazy. Coming through with the bat only puts a little salve on it.
Breaking ball misses high. He recently had fluid drained from both knees, but not affecting him at the plate at all.
Well, especially as a designated hitter. I mean, a lot of times guys come off the field and it affects how they hit coming off the bench, hitting .343 in his career with 15 homers and 56 RBIs.
We talked about the large adjustment that Gary Sheffield had to make when he left the Yankees here last year, as the outfield got clogged with Bobby Abreu here, and the big adjustment he made going to the DH role with the Tigers.
Do you think too much is made of that? Should players be able to adjust better? I mean, Harold Baines, Paul Molitor, Edgar Martinez, they embraced and made careers out of it.
No, I don't think too much is made of it at all. Think about like in golf as a scramble. If you're like the designated putter, but you don't get to hit the approach shots, or you're the guy that hits every third shot, it's very hard. The Ryder Cup, when they play every other ball, it's just a different game.
Did he go? Yes, he did, says home plate umpire Mark Carlson, and Matsui is gone. Let's go back to the studio for a Sports Center update. Here's Scott Reese.
All right, Dan, long ball game in Los Angeles. Dodgers and Nationals 9-9, bottom of the 12th inning. Shea Hillenbrand to right with the bases loaded. Does it have enough? Jeff Kent, not exactly fleet of foot, but he gets just under the tag. Dodgers sweep the Nats, just 4 games back of Arizona now in the NL West. Guys?
Here they come, and at the moment just 3 back of the wild card. Arizona's been beaten by San Diego a couple of times, and things are really tightening up in the National League West. Here's Jorge Posada. And a good curveball for a strike.
Well, you look at that curveball from Josh Beckett, and that's been one of the major differences from last season. He's commanding it. Our friends at Inside Edge, a scouting service we use and a lot of other teams use, Josh Beckett has the most taken strikes from his curveball of any pitcher in the major leagues.
Up the middle and through into center field. A base hit for Posada. Now, Oral, when you watch Beckett, is he throwing more curveballs? That, you know, the way it's always said he's become less of a pitcher and more of a thrower. Do you see a difference in the way he's attacking hitters, or are his pitches just a little bit sharper?
I see a couple different things. I used to think that Josh Beckett pitched like an angry young man, especially when a curveball or a fastball, his good fastball, got hit. That happened the other inning. Derek Jeter drove the ball to right field. He hit his good fastball. Josh Beckett continued to pitch. He used his secondary stuff. He worked on keeping the ball down. He didn't turn into a man-against-man bravado thing where he was just all of a sudden going to prove that he had the best fastball. He is now a complete pitcher.
Jason Giambi, the batter, with a runner at first, one down. And a pop-up. Beckett coming over to help out just in case, but Youkilis has it under control.
You know, one more thing about Josh Beckett, for me, Steve, also, when you talk about the statistics of the most curveballs taken, not only the curveball becomes better, but with the two-seamer. The two-seamer's a low pitch. He can throw now the low curveball, get the swing and the miss. The four-seamer is a fastball that normally where you throw your curveball off of, so he gets the taken curveball for a strike. So the two-seamer has not only been an additional pitch for him to get ground balls and less home runs, but it's a great setup pitch for the rest of the repertoire.
Well, the bravado was a major factor. I called the game last year against the Baltimore Orioles when Josh Beckett pitched. He started the game with 26 consecutive fastballs. I mean, nobody does that. I mean, you want to establish your fastball, not throwing 26 in a row. He's a much different pitcher.
And how do you get through to him? Is that a Veritek? Is that Terry Francona, John Farrell, the pitching coach?
You know what it is? You give up 36 home runs, you have an ERA over 5, and I think it took that for him to do it because he's a proud guy and he's stubborn. And he and Jason Veritek butted heads last year. I think they finally realized, you know what, it didn't quite go the way I wanted. And I think that when a guy struggles, you can say all you want, but he has to hit rock bottom before he changes.
Robinson Cano takes low, a ball and a strike. Cano, another one of the Yankees who was really heated up in the second half of the season. All the left-handed batters got hot. Matsui, Cano, Abreu, and Damon. And those are the four biggest reasons why the Yankee offense has been so good in recent weeks.
Now they're 59-40 against right-handed starting pitchers, 14-19 against left-handers. So the left-handed bats have been beaten up on the right-handed starters.
Outside. Well, there it is for the Yankees, the best offensive team in baseball since the All-Star break. They were 43-43 at the break, 30-16 since, and they have gotten back into contention. And if they win tonight, they'll move into a virtual tie with Seattle for the wild card lead.
And emotionally, what a lift that is for a ball club. You think of everything that they have battled through this year, from the poor starting pitching to the youthful starting pitching to the bullpen debacle to Mariano Rivera not getting any saves, all the fires that Joe Torre has had to put out. The emotional lift of being tied for the wild card at the end of tonight and getting another shot at Boston tomorrow to pull within 5. What momentum for September.
And the Red Sox just trying not to let the Yankees feel too good about themselves, not let them think that this is a race in the American League East.
Well, for the last several years, when the team hasn't gone on to win the World Series, the talk in the offseason has always been, well, you know, they don't have the right makeup. They don't have the Paul O'Neills and the Scott Brosius type players. This team has shown character this year to dig themselves out of the hole that they found themselves in and battle back to be in contention for anything. With all of the scrutiny and the media attention and everything that's gone on, Joe Torre's done an unbelievable job blending the young players with the veteran players and getting back in this race.
You see Jabba Chamberlain, Shelley Duncan, two of the players who have come up to contribute. Pitch is taken outside, ball 4. Cano walks, Posada to second with 2 down. The hunt for October, presented by Holiday Inn, continues with Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern from Anaheim. Vladimir Guerrero and the Angels taking on the Texas Rangers. The Angels just beat Seattle 3 times in a row, and it's not beyond possibility for the Angels and Yankees to meet again in another first-round playoff series, as they have twice in recent years. The Angels have won both of them, and boy, do the Angels' strengths exploit the Yankee weaknesses when those two teams get together. But it'll be the Angels and Rangers on Sunday night.
Well, the Angels are a team built for the playoffs. They have quality starting pitching. They have a closer that can close it out with an exclamation point in K-Rod, and they manufacture runs. Home runs are at a premium in the postseason. You tend not to get them, so you have to find ways to get them on, get them over, and get them in. That's Angels baseball.
Here's Melky Cabrera. And a curveball for a strike, 1-1. And right now, that's been the go-to pitch for Josh Beckett tonight.
He's done a good job commanding the fastball, on the low and away area to lefties. But that breaking ball out of that same window is exceptional.
Struggled in the first inning of his last start to walk 3 batters in a row. Very unlike him. He's only walked 3 batters or more in a start 3 times this year, so his control's been a lot better. And now Varitek will head back out to the mound.
And the only time he walked 4 was his first start of the year against Kansas City. And he was very disappointed in the 3 walks he had his last outing.
Look at the body language on the mound with Varitek with his arm around him. That's not the body language of guys who are butting heads or battling. That's guys that are working together trying to figure something out. Now, success brings you closer. I mean, when things start working out right, all of those hard feelings tend to go away. But that body language is that of guys still working together, not disagreeing with each other.
And together they have produced 16 wins already this year. Curveball a little high, 2-1.
I think you went out there and said, hey, the curveball's going pretty good. Throw another one of those.
Well, you talk about the 16 wins. Josh Beckett has never won 17. So not only would it be the major league lead, but it would be his career high that Jason Varitek has brought him along to.
Working on a new set of signs perhaps too, with Posada, the opposing catcher, out there at second base. On the appeal, yes sir.
See, that is the pitch that the 2-seamer has set up. Josh Beckett in the past would not get that swing and miss on a check swing, because this comes out of the 2-seamer for a fastball window. He's behind in the count in a fastball count. He's probably going to go to the 2-seamer, but he goes to the low breaking ball that's coming out of the knee-high fastball window.
Let me ask you this. Jason Varitek with his signs behind the plate, the flashing signs that he's doing this touching thing with his head, is masking that. What is that?
Well, sometimes it goes, the touching of the body is to tell you, is it going to be first sign, second sign, or third sign?
But this is something that just they've gone to since Posada got to second base. Grounded sharply up the middle and through into center field, a base hit. Posada is on his way home, and he will score. Around to third comes Cano on an RBI single by Cabrera as the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
Well, I think Melky Cabrera decoded the signs on that one. Looking for his fastball and got it. He didn't try to do too much, going right back up the middle with it. You see they set up inside, and that 2-seam fastball runs out over the plate and up in the zone. He didn't hit his spot. Cabrera goes right back up the middle, and Dustin Pedroia can't quite get to it. And good piece of hitting by Cabrera.
Well, both base hits were ground balls up the middle. Posada coming around, barely catches third, just on the corner. Boa holding up the next runner. But Beckett getting the ground balls, but that was a hard ground ball because the ball was up and a slight mistake.
Back to the top of the order now for Johnny Damon as Yankee Stadium comes to life for the first time tonight. Damon looks at a fastball in for a strike. This is the Yankee lineup that all these fans dreamed about over the course of the season, with everybody healthy. Giambi back, Damon feeling better, Matsui hitting well, Cano having a great second half. And top to bottom, 9 dangerous bats right now in this lineup. The runner from first will advance as Cabrera takes second on what'll be scored a wild pitch charged to Beckett. Well, just 24 hours ago, Johnny Damon with a home run against his former club. We mentioned it went about 315 feet. It's 314 to the fence down the line, and he just snuck it over. Damon hasn't done as much smiling this year as he has in years gone past, but he got a curtain call last night, and that 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th stood up as the winner. Taking advantage of the short porch here in the Bronx. Base hit here, now scores a couple.
We saw that wild pitch that Jason Varitek blocked in the dirt, and where the runner did advance, I mean, he saved a run right there, and it's remarkable. The Red Sox have given up the fewest wild pitches this year and in middle of the pack and pass balls. When you have that kind of a curveball on the mound, and he's going to bounce it in the dirt for strikes to get the swings and misses, the fact that they've given up the fewest wild pitches is a credit to Jason Varitek. Consider you got Tim Wakefield in this rotation as well. That knuckleball, you'd think they'd have more pass balls. So the catchers for the Red Sox are having an exceptional season as well.
And Doug Mirabelli is his personal catcher. There's Varitek getting the day off.
Swing and a miss. That's a 90-mile-an-hour changeup there, right, from Josh Beckett?
Definitely. Could be a two-seamer, could be a changeup. Sometimes they get in between in big situations. The grip to me looked like a changeup for sure. Had a little deeper into his hand.
He's got all the weapons, doesn't he? And now again back to the new set of signs, the different set of signs with a runner out at second base. So the Red Sox obviously worrying that the Yankees might be relaying pitches from second base to the plate.
I think sometimes too in stadiums, if there are shadows and a pitcher can't necessarily see the signals for the catcher, they tend to do that. Also sometimes for location, if it's a fastball, because if you flash with a runner on second base and then you signal a location, it tends to mean you're going to throw a fastball.
Full count. Now he is starting with a signal the traditional way between his legs, and then he's going to that elaborate system.
There's all kinds of signals he can use. He could be using his bare hand all around his body, and it could be the angle of his glove hiding the signs from Larry Bowe, the third base coach, if you watch that. Or it could be how many times he taps a certain area.
It could all mean nothing, really. I mean, exactly.
I've seen it just its first sign, but we're doing all this stuff.
Hooked foul out of play.
Let's see if we can get Hershiser to talk about it. Let's try it and see.
You can. It'd be like getting you to talk about the waiver rule or something.
Oh, thank goodness nobody asked me that one this year.
But I mean, a lot of times, you know, some of the ways to get your signs more complicated are to use taps. Another way is to don't look at the numbers, look how many times I pump. So it's just different things, different types of body language to come up with a code that gives you a sign.
Base hit through the left side. Cano is home. Here comes Cabrera, and a two-run single for Johnny Damon makes it 3-0 for the Yankees.
A good piece of hitting by Johnny Damon, but how about Melky Cabrera, the jump he gets off second base. Secondary lead, he reads it, boy, he just takes off on the move there, able to turn and score, and really no chance to get him on a ball that wasn't hit that hard. And again, Hinsky playing left field, not a very good arm out there. Larry Bowe, the third base coach, knows that and sends him quickly.
Here comes John Farrell, the pitching coach.
Well, let's see how Josh Beckett attacked Johnny Damon. You see first pitch fastball away, so he's going hard. He tries to go off speed, but he bounces it. Johnny Damon has respect for the fastball, but gets a changeup, swings through. He stays gas, tries to come back inside, doesn't make the pitch, hangs a little curveball, and now he says, I'll go back away. Johnny Damon does a great job staying on it and hitting it where it's pitched.
So a big hit for the second night in a row for Johnny Damon. 3-0 Yankees, bottom of the second. Damon with 20 steals on the season. The batter is Derek Jeter, who doubled to right last inning.
Like a situation here, Joe Torre may start Johnny Damon running with 2 outs. If he gets thrown out, you got Derek Jeter leading off the next inning and try to get him in scoring position.
And the Red Sox thinking along those same lines. The kind of lineup when they're all clicking, they can just wear you out, taking pitches, fouling off pitches, extending innings, and making a pitcher work as hard as he ever will. And Beckett has had a long second inning here with visits to the mound from his catcher, from his pitching coach, throws to first, deep counts.
11 out of 14 stolen base attempts have been successful against Beckett.
Not going, and Jeter takes it inside, ball 1. this a test for him, Oral? Because he has developed tremendously as a pitcher, but he's still a young, sometimes emotional guy. And can this kind of an inning really get to him?
He needs to get himself in the dugout and regroup. He was probably going to give up runs against this outstanding Yankee lineup tonight. He's not pitching against the Roger Clemens of old. Roger comes in here 5-5 with a 4.34. He's probably going to give up some runs. The Red Sox are not out of this at all. And Josh, he looks very composed. I mean, there is a lot of thought going on in that head. The energy that he gets from the disappointment of this inning looks like it is still going into focusing good pitches.
3 runs on 3 hits and a walk this inning for the Yankees. Damon not going, and Jeter hits a weak ground ball up the third baseline. Beckett's throw low, and it skips past Youkilis. And the runners will each take an extra base.
Well, Josh Beckett makes a very nice pitch on the inner part of the plate to Derek Jeter. He gets the chopper. He breaks off the mound very well. The follow through took him to first. The hardest part of that play is everything is behind you, and when you make that throw from the land down under, you get a tail back towards first. You have to lead yourself into the right field away from your target, because when that body angle and that arm angle, you are going to get some side spin.
The Yankees the Red Sox were fortunate. Johnny Damon kind of turned second base and stopped to look to see what happened. If he had just been running, saying, I'm going to get all the way to third base, he may have scored on the wild throw that Youkilis had to run down.
Scored as a single and an error. Bobby Abreu takes a pitch over the inside corner for a called strike. The base hit here could blow it open. The Yankees already with 3 runs across here in the bottom of the second inning.
Talk about big at bats. This is one in this game so early for Josh Beckett. The difference between a quality outing and a possible win and a blowout for his team.
Curveball inside, 1-1.
Now this veteran Yankee lineup, so many professional at bats, and they wait you out. I mean, you know, you as a pitcher, as Josh Beckett, you try to throw it on the corner. You try to get him to chase a breaking ball. They take pitches. The 5th most pitches per plate appearance in the major leagues from the Yankees. They'll work the count and then try to narrow down what pitch in what location Beckett's going to throw.
Josh Beckett, Oral, has already thrown over 30 pitches this inning.
Well, you go into the training, and this is really more mental discipline. He is not tired, but it is fatiguing to fail.
Bouncer to second. And finally, the inning is over. 32 pitches, 4 hits, and 3 runs later, Beckett walks off the field. The Yankees up 3-0.
What can be better than watching all the incredible goals, great stars, including David Beckham, and excitement of an MLS match? Watching over 40 MLS matches for the second half of this season. The only way to do that is by signing up now for MLS Direct Kick. For only $49, you can catch all the live action and drama the rest of the season has to offer. Show your passion for the sport you love. Order MLS Direct Kick on Dish Network Season Ticket.
Pressure, enemy of engines. Enemy of pressure, Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic, with adaptive molecules that continually join forces to help conquer pressure. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Employee disability can bring even the healthiest business to its knees. At Unum, our benefits not only help your people stay on their feet, they keep your entire company at the top of its game. Unum, better benefits at work.
I'm not a morning person. That's why Ed's shaving gel is great for me. It has all these cooling conditioners. to kind of wake up my face. It's a very refreshing shave. Invigorating. Which is nice because I need help waking up. Been staying up late lately. A lot. Edge. Get some.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Goodyear, and the stars are out here in the Bronx tonight from left to right. Paul McCartney, Lorne Michaels, Alec Baldwin, all taking in the Yankee game. We have seen Kevin Bacon is here as well, and so far, assuming they are Yankee fans, Billy Crystal is in the house, and we know he is. They have to like what they see. The Yankees are playing well and are back in playoff contention and leading again tonight after winning last night. Got 3 in the bottom of the second off Josh Beckett, and Roger Clemens has a lead to work with. The number 9 hitter tonight for the Red Sox, left fielder Eric Hinske. After Manny Ramirez left last night's game with what at the time was described as a back problem, now it turns out it's an oblique. Bobby Kilty came in and replaced him, and an inning later Kilty left with a back problem. So Hinske took over, and now Hinske gets the start here tonight. But a guy who's really better suited to being an infielder than an outfielder, although he has become a jack of all trades for the Red Sox. The 2-1 from Clemens, and a fastball fouled straight back, 2-2.
Terry Francona, manager for the Red Sox, likes Eric Hinske because he's a baseball player. He just does something in every game that helps the team win. He's not a great defender, but he's going to go out there and play the game. He'll battle at the plate. He has some pop in his bat. Can't catch the good fastball anymore, but mediocre fastball, sliders, he can nail.
Pulled foul.
Actually started a rally off this year with a bunt when he saw the defense playing him way back at third base like Alex Rodriguez is playing him now. I know there's 2 strikes, but Alex has been deep most of the at bat late in the game.
Again, the 2-2 from Clemens, and Hinske has popped it up, foul territory. Posada and Rodriguez coming over for a look, but it's back out of play. Well, the Yankees, even when they were so far under 500 early in the season, at one point, guys, they were 14.5 games back of the Red Sox. And they were throwing out starting pitchers left and right that people had never heard of, getting clobbered early in the season. When Clemens announced he was coming back, things weren't that bad. They got worse between the time he announced he was coming back and when he actually returned. And as we saw his numbers, they've been average, 5-5 with a 4.34 ERA.
It can't be underestimated the emotional lift that he gave him when he got back, and the accountability lift in the tunnel and in the locker room. Things that go unsaid all of a sudden were voiced, and his leadership was heard.
Best record in baseball since the end of May. Will it be enough to get him back into the postseason? Inside, ball 4. The third walk given up tonight already by Clemens as we go back to Scott Reese for a Sports Center in-game update.
All right, Dan, Sitko keeping you in the game takes us to Cleveland, the Twins and Indians, and I don't know what it is about this Indian lineup, but Johan Santana would just as soon not see him. 0-3 against the Tribe this year coming in. He serves it up to Asdrubal Cabrera and Victor Martinez. The Tribe with 4 in the first off of Santana, now 4-0, bottom 3.
CC Sabathia on the mound against the Twins, and he's done a great job against Minnesota this year. So Cleveland looking good for its 5th consecutive win. They're 3.5 up on Detroit entering play tonight. As we close in on September, let's all start taking the Indians pretty seriously, huh?
Well, CC beat Santana back on August 3rd. Hafner is heating up there for the Indians, so they might look like they're going to fall apart. They might not do everything right, especially defensively at times, but they're starting to come together.
Well, most home runs allowed from a starting pitcher this year? Who? Johan Santana.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Swing and a miss by Julio Lugo, and the count is 0-2. I think a lot of folks, and I think we're probably all among them, keep waiting for the Tigers just to turn it on and start playing like so many people feel they're capable of playing. But the days are starting to run out. They're 3.5 back. They're 2.5 back in the wild card. Cleveland in good position right now. The Yankees a half game back of Seattle for the wild card lead. Weak ground ball to first, the only play to the bag. Clemens shows Giambi the way. The runner at second, 1 down as we go back to the studio again.
All right, Dan, the Phils 4 back of the Mets beginning play tonight, making early noise. Already down 1-0 on a David Wright home run. Jimmy Rollins goes yard for the second straight game. That ties it at 1. 24th for Rollins, and then Pat Burrell does the deed. And you know Burrell is the preeminent Met killer in baseball. Phillies 2-1, top 4.
How about the Fightins guys? I mean, they've won the first 2 already. Get another one tomorrow night. They've got a chance to make some real noise here.
Pat Burrell, 39 career home runs against the New York Mets. He just drive me crazy.
If I'm Omar Minaya, I'm thinking of trading for him just so you don't have to play against him anymore.
And the Mets aren't real comfortable there. Their bullpen has been lacking. Their offense, the last 3 games, only 2 runs each game. It's an emotional lift for them just to have a run so far tonight.
Dustin Pedroia, the batter, he takes low. Runner at second. 1 out, 3-0. The Yankees lead in the top of the 3rd. The Red Sox don't have a hit yet, but Clemens has walked 3 and hit 1 already tonight. Dustin Pedroia, if you missed it earlier, you can probably take one look at him and you can tell he was thrown out stealing on a headfirst slide at second base. He's dirty from head to toe already. No play for Giambi.
Now, Oral, Roger Clemens' strikeout rates this year are down in the lowest point ever in his career. His command numbers aren't what they've been. The walks are up as well. We see the 3 tonight. He had 3 his last time out. He was always a power pitcher who had extraordinary command. Is this the beginning of the end or the middle of the end?
Well, 45 years old, you've got to say it's more like the middle of the end, really. And what happens when you get older is that you get less flexible, and as the wear and tear of the season goes on.
To make the play to get Pedroia for the second out, Hinske to third.
Harder and harder to recover. So Roger comes back in the middle of most seasons, or at least 40-50 games into the year, because he knows he can't take that wear and tear. And you would expect that as he gets deeper and deeper into every season, as he continues, he hops off the mound here like a young man, spry as a cat, bare hands it, gets it over there. But slowly but surely, the water starts to leave the bathtub, and you cannot recover.
You have to look at that bunt by Dustin Pedroia and say, I mean, he certainly wasn't trying to advance the runner. I think he tried to get it for a hit.
Yeah.
He had a wrong angle on the bat. It went right back to Roger Clemens.
David Ortiz, first pitch swinging, lifts one to deep left field. Damon makes the grab in front of the fence. Big Poppy retired, and the Red Sox leave a man on at third.
The dream is still alive. Someday it will come true. And this country, it belongs to folks like me and you. So let the voice of freedom sing out through this land. This is our country.
Silverado from Chevy. This is our truck.
You've always loved the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquos liquid crystal television from Sharp.
There's a place where anything goes, and the party never dies. And the party never dies. Never dies. Never dies. I'm gonna put an end to this. Sorry about this.
Resident Evil Extinction, rated R, in theaters September 21st.
What
What's true for shrimp cocktail is true for all cocktails. Always in moderation.
I'm Tony Sinclair, and that's how you Tanqueray.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium along with Oral Hershiser and Steve Phillips. I'm Dan Schulman, and you're watching Wednesday Night Baseball on ESPN2, presented by Goodyear. The Yankees leading 3-0 here in front of a largely pro-Yankee crowd, but some Red Sox fans have made their way to the Bronx and sometimes forced even to try to get along with a Yankee fan sitting next to him. A 7-game lead for the Red Sox atop the American League East, the best record in all of baseball. And the Yankees realistically thinking, or maybe not admitting this, but thinking more about the wild card than the division. There is a 3-game series between these two teams in the middle of September at Fenway Park. Alex Rodriguez lines the ball into left field, a base hit. He's thinking 2, and then he puts the brakes on, and he's going to get thrown out, going back to first.
Well, Alex Rodriguez busting out of the box, thinking he's going to take advantage of Eric Hinske's arm in left field. Thinking double right away. Did a great job turning on that fastball, and Hinske does a nice job rounding this off. There's some communication right here from Lugo to Pedroia because they knew Rodriguez was off a long way. Pedroia never looked, never hesitated, turned and fired. And he is all baseball player, and Alex is out.
So 7-4-3 on the putout. Left field to second base to first, and Rodriguez retired.
Well, with where that ball was hit, Alex should have looked a little bit sooner running down to first base to double check whether it was a good idea. He checked a little too late. His turn got too big, and it got away from him.
Batter Hideki Matsui, and a fastball at the knees for a strike to even it up at 1-1.
But you love to see that out of your veteran. This is guy 43, 123 already, and he's busting it. They're half a game out of the wild card, and he's showing some leadership with the hustle there. We get tired and rag on guys a lot of times. They hit that ball and kind of just jog down the first.
See, Alex Rodriguez hit this ball down the line, and he's thinking 2. Right now, he's thinking 2. He's hustling. You have to give him credit. He gives a quick glance as he makes the turn. He couldn't pick it up when he made the glance. Too big a turn. Got caught off base. And listen, when you're up 3-0, it's a mistake of commission. You don't mind that as much, and it's not as hurtful, especially if you get on second base with nobody out. You put yourself in scoring position to manufacture a run. So, you know, you at least excuse it to that point.
Well, you talked about how much Terry Francona loves Eric Hinske, a guy who doesn't play every day, and he plays 4 different positions, and there's a great example. Not try to do too much, just got over quickly, hit Pedroia at second base, and helped engineer that play.
Oral called that right. He rounded that ball out there and got himself in throwing position.
And, you know, that's a little different than what they were getting out of Willie Mo Pena. I mean, let's be specific of who he really has replaced.
Fouled back by Matsui.
And that comes down to, Steve, doesn't it, the whole manager, general manager, you made a trade for a guy, you're expecting potential. How long do we give him to really blossom? And you know what? I've got a baseball player here. The manager says, I want to play this guy.
Well, you have a 162-game season. The bench becomes absolutely critical. You're going to have injuries, you're going to have fatigue, and you're going to have to work players in. And a general manager needs to provide the manager players that can adapt to situations, whether it's the pinch hit early in the game, late in the game. You need somebody to get on base to lead off an inning when you're pinch hitting. You need somebody who can hit a home run to come off the bench. You need to be able to fill the multiple positions on the field during the course of a season.
And you could have more specific guys in the olden days when you carried 9 and 10 pitchers, but now with pitching staffs being 11 and 12, your bench players have to be more versatile and bring more tools.
Did you just describe the era in which you played as being the olden days?
Well, the olden days for rosters, and you know, I apologize if for all of you out there that are 48 like I am, but you start thinking about the olden days.
How many guys were on the pitching staff when you broke in with the Dodgers?
7.
10 and 9. 10 and 9 at times. And, you know,
If we had 11, that was huge. That was huge. We never had 11.
No. When I was a kid, I swear I loved watching you pitch. Really.
I remember you had a poster of me in your room, didn't you?
Josh Beckett idolized Roger Clemens. Well, you know what? Seriously, I really looked up to you as a kid.
I appreciate it. You're always going to look up to me. I'm 6'3".
Oh, good point. All right.
So you call him old, he calls you short, and you agree to be friends.
Well, let's go.
We know, keep the camera on for a minute. What are you?
Let's see. What are we going to talk about here?
Matsui drives the ball mercifully up the alley in left center and past a diving Crisp. And Matsui rounding second. And he is into third base, standing up.
Well, Coco Crisp, you love the hustle. But if he doesn't dive and plays the ball, not to let it get to the wall, it's a double for Hideki Matsui, not a triple. His dive actually, well, and Eric Hinsky's dive as well out there, causes the ability to get to third base for Matsui. But this is a ball right now with one out. Matsui on second base is a much different situation with one out with a runner on third base. As you see him running there with supposedly sore knees. Pretty good stride right there for Hideki Matsui.
Infield has come in for the Red Sox. They don't want to let this one get any further away from them. Second triple of the year for Matsui. And here's Posada, who had a base hit up the middle his first time up. Up and away, ball one. Posada, as Steve mentioned earlier, having a great offensive season. He's in the top 8 in the American League in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. And supposedly, at about his age, catchers are starting to slow down and their play deteriorates offensively and defensively, but not so in the case of Posada. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
You know, for me, the Red Sox defense is too far in. Matsui is on third. They're already up by 3. I don't think they're going to run on contact. They're going to make this ball get through. And with Matsui's knees, they don't want him sliding at the plate and getting hurt. They should be about halfway to catch the ground ball.
The deepest of the 4 is the first baseman, Youkilis. 1-1 the count. And a foul back by Posada.
The Yankees lead in runs scored in the American League this year. One of the reasons for that is they get runners in from third base with less than 2 outs. They're third overall in sacrifice flies as a team. Jorge Posada, veteran hitter, knows he wants a ball that he can get up and drive to the outfield, and if he can do it, they'll score the run.
Hitting .333. He's driven in 78 runs already on the season. Beckett shakes off Veritek a couple of times. And the curveball over the outside corner will get Posada. He didn't like the call at all. 2 down in the inning as we now check out our game track presented by Lee Jeans. Melky Cabrera in the bottom of the second with an RBI single to make it 1-0, and then Johnny Damon with another big hit. A roller through the left side for a 2-run single. Capping the 3-run at bottom of the second. The Yankees are threatening again here in the bottom of the third, but a very big strikeout as Beckett gets Posada. Now he will deal with Giambi. That allows the infield to back up, and the shift is on. Pitch to Giambi in for a strike. Now, a lot of times, guys, when you see this situation, a runner at third and a hitter up who demands a shift, the third baseman will play much closer to third base than Lowell is now. Otherwise, Matsui, I mean, he can keep walking down the line. He can go another 15-20 feet if he wants.
Yeah, but Beckett is pitching from the stretch. If he was from the windup and you thought maybe possible steal, I think you're right. And also with 2 outs.
I'm just thinking about a short wild pitch or something if Matsui is going to risk it.
I think the wild pitch is a factor with the curveball from Josh Beckett. We've seen that curveball in the dirt that Jason Veritek has blocked, and it's kicked away a little bit. I mean, for me, Jason Giambi's got to bunt. I mean, you have to bunt the ball for a base hit right here. It's an RBI. You got a chance to pick up a run. He's done it at times. He's done it at times in his career to lay down the bunt.
You know, you say that, and it energizes your team, the house we're in here.
Well, anytime you can counteract the other team trying to outsmart you, they're going to outmaneuver you. They've looked at the reports. Hey, we're going to put the shift on you. When you beat them, the crowd jumps right into that as well. And You see Josh Beckett trying to bust him in. Now the curveball, Josh Beckett's curveball may be one of the toughest pitches to bunt, because to be able to track that, the rotation and the movement on that pitch would be very difficult to do. It's certainly not something with 2 strikes you consider. But let's look for a curveball in the dirt for strike 3.
Well, that fastball right there away sets it up. He punched out Posada on a backdoor breaking ball. He has the release point on that pitch. It's been his most effective pitch tonight. I wouldn't be surprised right now if he comes right out of there with a backdoor curveball.
The fact he only has 3 wild pitches, again, it is such a credit to Jason Varitek.
The 2-2. The swing and a miss. The tag applied, and the inning is over as the Yankees will strand a runner at third base. Beckett gets out of it, but he and the Red Sox still trail 3-0 through 3 here at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, good, you're home. What color should we go with? Oh, we're painting the living room.
Yes, we are.
Trying to find the right color? The Home Depot can help you choose and coordinate beautifully. This weekend, get $5 off 1-gallon cans and $20 off 5-gallon buckets of #1 rated Behr interior paint.
The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
I'm glad I thought of this.
Yeah.
10. 20. 30. 45. 50 miles per hour. That's a new record.
Wow, that's fast.
How does it taste?
Doesn't matter. It's fast.
The world's gone mad.
Fast burger that doesn't taste good, that's wrong. That's why Wendy's our hot, juicy burgers are made to order, so they're fast and good.
That's right.
I remember watching that on TV with my dad. I was just a little guy, so it was just another home run to me. But my dad leaned over and said to me, "Charlie, remember this day. And remember, you can do anything." Whenever I see footage of that home run, I think about Hank. And I think about my dad.
This personal home run moment brought to you by State Farm.
There's a new home run champion. How can you get pizzeria taste without the pizzeria place? With new DiGiorno Ultimate, pizzeria taste right in your home. New DiGiorno Ultimate uses whole milk mozzarella, plump mushrooms and sausage, thick pepperoni, and julienne peppers for authentic pizzeria taste. But while the pizzeria seats you next to the team from Manny's Plumbing,
guys. That's great.
with new DiGiorno Ultimate, you sit by someone much nicer.
This really worked out.
For ultimate pizzeria taste, it's new DiGiorno Ultimate.
How you doing?
ESPN2 Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Goodyear. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, top of the 4th inning. A 3-0 lead for the Yankees, trying to move into a tie with Seattle for the wild card lead if they can win tonight. Seattle losing earlier today to the Angels. And Roger Clemens, 3 innings, no hits allowed so far. 3 walks and a hit batter, so it hasn't been as if he has been dominant tonight.
Effectively wild. That's what you say when you've won Cy Young after Cy Young after Cy Young.
7 of them in all. A pop-up off the bat of Mike Lowell, who tosses the bat away in disgust. Jason Giambi is there for the first out. Here's tonight's extra long-lasting moment. Now we go back to April 22nd of this year, a Sunday night game at Fenway Park. Chase Wright on the mound for the Yankees. 4 consecutive home runs allowed to the Red Sox. Manny Ramirez, J.D. Drew, Mike Lowell, and finally Jason Varitek. Chase Wright becoming just the 2nd pitcher in history to serve up 4 consecutive home runs. One of the many starting pitchers the Yankees have tried, one of the many rookies the Yankees have tried, and we'll see another one this weekend. Ian Kennedy is going to be summoned from the minors, and he'll make Mike Messina's start on Saturday. Ironically, one report described Kennedy as a young Mike Messina, similar kind of stuff.
Well, not a hard thrower, but good secondary pitches, and he actually holds runners on first base with the kind of same dip forward that Mike Messina does.
There's Phil Hughes, you saw, another youngster who's currently in the Yankee rotation. It's been a long time since the Yankees relied on as many young pitchers as they have this year. Jabba Chamberlain, a guy who's come up and been absolutely sensational out of the bullpen. And sprinkle in the odd veteran who's on a 6-game winning streak right now.
The odd stopper.
He's been unbelievable this year.
The 1-2 to Youkilis. And again, the Yankees have said that maybe Messina gets back into the rotation next time around. Maybe not. Depends on how Kennedy does and what Messina does on the side. But for Joe Torre right now, you just saw the two most reliable guys he's got in Andy Pettitte and Chien-Ming Wang. Youkilis is gone, 2 down. First strikeout of the night for Roger Clemens.
This is one where Roger gets his arm up and drives the ball downhill. The front side stays closed. He stays compact and is able to finish the pitch off. Earlier in the game, we saw him kind of drop his arm, lose his fastball. Right there, the split.
So 2 down, nobody on, and Clemens will now face J.D. Drew after striking out Youkilis. And a slider for a strike.
This is where Roger Clemens got in trouble in the 2nd inning with 2 outs. He walked J.D. Drew, then he walked Jason Varitek. Ended up getting Coco Crisp.
In the air to shallow right center field. Cabrera calling off Cano, makes the grab, and the Red Sox go in order. To the bottom of the 4th here in the Bronx. Clemens and the Yankees up 3-0.
Pressure. Enemy of engines. Enemy of pressure. Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with adaptive molecules that continually join forces to help conquer pressure. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Paying for college? A lot harder than I imagined.
I have a scholarship, but I still need more. I am glad I found a Strive.
Loans for students like me.
When you've done your homework but you still need more money, there's a Strive Student Loans. Up to $40,000 a year just by calling or going online now. You can apply in as few as 15 minutes, get your money in about a week, and you don't have to pay a cent until after you graduate.
Check it out. A Strive is a great option.
Go online or call 1-800-719-2501.
I've always had a problem getting close. It just always irritated me. But with Edge, problem solved. I put Edge on my face and something wonderful happens. Emollient lubricant, softening my facial hair. It's like it wants to come off. And I say let it. Getting a close shave used to be tough. Now it's special. Edge. Get some.
Paul McCartney loves what he sees. Penny Marshall loves what she sees here tonight. The Yankees up 3-0 on the bottom of the 4th. So we brought out some celebrities from the olden days.
That's what I was thinking right now.
Back from your era.
Watching this. Paul's left-handed in his right mind.
There you go. Robinson Cano, first pitch swinging here in the bottom of the 4th. And Pedroia throws him out 1 down.
Even guys who play the guitar left-handed have long careers. Pitchers left-handed, righties get past the side quickly.
So you're saying you would have had a better career had you're lamenting your right-handedness? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, left-handed in a heartbeut.
You know, forever. After that 1 year with that one hit, McCartney only got $7.9 million.
You're going to pay for that one for a long time.
He struggled.
Red Sox 7 up on the Yankees atop the American League East. The Yankees have won this division 9 consecutive years. A strike taken by Cabrera. Can you two just try to get along for the next 5 innings or so, and then we'll sort it out after the game.
He laughed.
This booth is small enough as it is.
I need to push the cough button for a while. I can't catch my breath.
Cabrera with an RBI single in the second. And good alertness there by Varitek. And low, that ball had a chance to bounce back fair the way it was looking.
You look at catchers at this time of year and how they're hustling and bouncing around. To think about the wear and tear on the body of any major league player playing a 162-game schedule, but for the catchers, all of the squatting, the up and down, and it's not just what you see during game time. It's the bullpen sessions, working with pitchers, all of the different things you have to go through during the course of the season. That's why that off-season conditioning program is absolutely critical.
And you got two guys here, both in their mid-30s, both of whom catch as often as just about anybody. Russell Martin of the Dodgers has been the busiest catcher this year. But Varitek, as we know, catches 4 out of 5 games. He just doesn't catch when Tim Wakefield is pitching.
And we talk about the wear and tear of the everyday players. You know, Jason Giambi, you're talking about Johnny Damon earlier, the nicks he had, and he couldn't really get into full stride. And then these catchers that go all the way. What about Pudge Rodriguez? What he's doing in Detroit continues to go back there.
The 1-2 from Beckett. And a ground ball weakly hit to second. Beckett's going to have to get over and cover as the first baseman Youkilis makes the play, but safe at first is Cabrera. Let's go back to the studio for a SportsCenter 30 at 30.
All right, Dan, the Milwaukee Bucks signed their top draft pick, Yi Jianlian, after the Chinese forward had said he wanted to be traded to a city with a larger Asian population. And matinee baseball, the Angels and the Mariners, Vladdy Guerrero goes yard. Los Angeles, an 8-2 winner, now leads Seattle by 5 in the AL West. And if the Yanks win, of course, we've got a tie in the wild card. Details on SportsCenter, ESPN 11 Eastern, and stay current with ESPN News. Dan.
And Scott, the Yanks are leading right now. Guys, take us through this play because this one could have unfolded in a number of different directions.
Well, I think Josh Beckett assumed that he wasn't going to be part of the play midway through it, slowed down his race to the bag, and as he goes to swipe there, he should have already been there. So the bang-bang play, no matter which way you call it at home, Josh should have been there earlier.
Looked like the right call from Angel Hernandez, an infield hit for Melky Cabrera, his second hit of the night. The 8th hit already tonight for the Yankees off Beckett. And back to the top of the order for Johnny Damon, who had a 2-run single back in the second inning. A pop-up. And Lugo's there for the second out. So you're saying that Beckett initially thought that Pedroia would make the play on the ground ball and Youkilis would get back to first base, and that's why he wasn't racing over.
Yeah, he broke, and then he kind of eased up when the ball passed him and got himself out of the play, then realized in his peripheral vision that Youkilis was already broke, and see right there, he stops, and now he goes. And that little hesitation.
That's Dustin Pedroia's ball right there. I mean, he's got to call him off. Now, Kevin Youkilis went for it, but Pedroia has the right of way. He's got to call him, say, I got it. And Josh Beckett should be covering first base, but I'm surprised Kevin Youkilis went as far to his right as he did there.
It was too much assumption by all three guys.
So a runner at first, 2 down now for Derek Jeter. Jeter has doubled and singled so far in this game. .33 years old, over 2,300 hits already for Derek Jeter. So if he continues at his current pace, somewhere in 2011, maybe before his 37th birthday, he should get to 3,000 hits.
He's going to get to 4,000 hits. He really is. And I mean, you know, we talked about this once before. I mean, when you really start to break it down and do the math, he certainly has the potential to be able to do that at this stage of his career. He's going to end up close to 2,400 by the end of the season this year. 2,350 maybe. I'm stretching 2,400. But I really do think he's got a legitimate crack at 4,000 hits before it's all said and done. You know he's going to play until he's 42, 43, 44 years old. He's in great shape. Power's not his game, and speed doesn't necessarily have to be that. He could always make the transition to the outfield. There's been talk of that in the past, of him going out to center field. And he can get the hits because he goes to right field.
There's so many guys we talk about who came up with an organization and then 10, 12, 15 years later they finally leave and go somewhere else, and we all lament the fact that so few players spend their whole career with one organization. If you had to pick one guy in baseball who is likely to spend his whole career with one organization, this might be the guy.
I completely agree. I think it'd be a disservice to everybody if Derek Jeter doesn't play his entire career here. He means so much. Someday there'll be a plaque out there with his face on it. Number 2 retired on that wall with all of the retired numbers.
Amazing there's a low number left for him to wear right now.
The 2 worn by Jeter and the 6 worn by Torrey. I think the only single digits that aren't out there, and they're going to be out there at some point, you would imagine.
Didn't Bernie Williams never wear another uniform?
He did not.
No, he did not. This year.
Does he get a plaque and a retired number?
It's going to be a close one.
Runner goes. Pitch taken outside. Throw down. The tag. And out at second is Cabrera to end the inning. Veritek throws him out, and that brings the bottom of the 4th to a close, with the Yankees continuing to lead the Red Sox by a score of 3-0.
Cordially invited to the event. The summer sales event from Lexus. The event now through September 4th.
Kenny, I need 50 pounds of roast beef.
Sorry, Pat. We're all out.
No, don't give me that. What, did your wife wolf it down for breakfast? That came out wrong. Look, look at me. I mean, we probably weigh this.
The network you can trust. AT&T. Buy any phone and get up to 4 free.
Dad, we need a new fridge. This one's old.
You think?
Yeah. And what's up with the cabinets? And these lights? We need to go to Home Depot.
Right now, get no payments, no interest for 12 months on purchases store-wide of $299 or more through Monday with your Home Depot consumer credit card. Plus, now through Wednesday, get 10% off appliances.
The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
You are cordially invited to the event. The summer sales event from Lexus. The event now through September 4th.
Sports are great for a kid's body. Steroids aren't. They can ruin tendons in legs and arms. Steroids can stunt bone growth and increase the chances of liver cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Steroids don't make great athletes. They destroy them. Talk to your kids. Need help? Get help. Visit drugfree.org.
This ESPN2 telecast is available in astonishing high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Sharp Aquos. With Steve Phillips, Oral Hershiser, I'm Dan Schulman, and welcome back to Yankee Stadium. A 3-0 lead for the Yankees over the Red Sox. Boston batting in the top of the 5th, and Roger Clemens starts Jason Veritek with a strike. Clemens has not allowed a hit so far. He's given up 3 walks. He's hit a batter. He has struck out 1. That was pitch number 56.
In the play-by-play manual, when you're learning how to do it, what is the rule about talking about guys not having given up hits? Yeah.
Well, he's broken it if there's anything in the manual. He said it the last 2 innings.
Isn't there something on page 1?
I think you talk about it. Now, you're the ex-player.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm jinxing him by saying he hasn't given up a hit yet?
No, because you have a good voice.
Oh, that's not in the manual.
No.
Of course you're jinxing him. You don't talk about a no-hitter.
It's not my job to not jinx him. It's one thing for guys down in the firstly it's only 4 innings. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Well,
but that's what we do. We get out in front of
we get out in front of ourselves. That's why they pay us the big bucks.
Yeah. The manual says you don't take it seriously until the 7th.
Oh,
okay. The 7th?
The 7th.
We need to rewrite that manual. There's not many starters that go 7 anymore. Now
back above us 3-2, but it's not my job to worry about whether it's getting jinxed or not. His teammates don't talk to him about it, right?
No, the teammates don't mention it.
But they are tuning into this broadcast back in the clubhouse. Roger may go back and
Roger goes back to change his shirt or something.
Frappuccino between innings or something.
Sorry, Raj. Fourth walk given up tonight. Let's go back to Scott Reese in the studio.
All right, Dan, we check in on the Royals and the struggling Detroit Tigers, and things not getting any better for Los Tigres. That would be Tony Pena Jr. finding a hole. 2-run score on the base knock. KC gets 5 in the first. We've got a 5-0 Kansas City lead as Detroit 3.5 back of Cleveland.
Tigers really struggling right now. Look at what they have done or failed to do since the All-Star break. The starting pitching has not been good at all. And they are starting to lose touch with the Indians for the American League Central lead.
Now you look at the Tigers and you think about the talent on that team. And at one point they had the best record in the American League back in June. But you lose Gary Sheffield, and he is that presence in their offense. And you lose Kenny Rogers. He is the emotional spirit of that team. Think back to the playoffs last year, how everybody kind of pumped up around him, the fans, his teammates. He's a leader on that team. They've lost 2 key leaders on their team, both with their performance and the impact they have when they're performing.
1-1 the count on Coco Crisp. 3-0 Yankees, top of the 5th inning. Even with a bag of third, Alex Rodriguez, as the pitch is low and it squirts through Posada by just a few feet, and Veritek holds his ground. Let's go back to the Hideki Matsui triple in the 3rd inning. Remember, Coco Crisp went for that dive out in left center, came up empty, and they're working a little bit on that left shoulder in between innings on Coco Crisp.
Josh Beckett there encouraging him to keep diving. As a pitcher, you just want your outfielders to go for everything.
3 balls and a strike.
I know we were a little tongue-in-cheek about Roger Clemens. Possible no-hit bid here a little early. Where is it in the manual of play-by-play? Well, Roger's gone to maximum of 113 pitches this year. That was his 65th pitch. Back in July, he went back-to-back games against Minnesota and Los Angeles, 8 innings each, but only threw 97 and 98 pitches. So those were very efficient outings.
So you're saying it's not likely we're going to be worrying about it in the 8th inning still?
Unless we get a torrential downpour in the 7th, and he's still got a no-hitter.
He could come out of the game in the bullpen, so it could be a collective.
Yeah, collective run.
No Jobber Chamberlain likely tonight.
No.
Pitched last night, so by the Jobber rules, they've got to give him a night off. There's a swing and a miss by Crisp, and he's gone. Second strikeout of the night for Clemens.
Well, whether he can throw a complete game or not, he has been sporadically wild, effectively wild, but here he makes a quality big league pitch. 91-mile-an-hour two-seamer, low and away. You see where the ball starts. You see where it finishes. Coco Crisp starts at the origin, but it is not there.
Coco Crisp not real happy. The 3-1 fastball he took, he thought was up and in. Should have been ball 4. Roger got the call and came back and got the strikeout.
I thought that pitch was a strike. I just think you don't get it at the big league level when your catcher reaches back across the whole plate.
When the catcher dives, typically it's a ball.
Here's Eric Hinsky. He'll take it low, ball 1.
We haven't been together for a while, and I can just tell you're trying to get all of it back out now. All the kind of the.
Yeah, we've missed you.
Actually, he took some pretty good shots at you when you were away.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, were you?
Oh, you didn't hear?
No.
You weren't watching?
No. Oh, yeah, I was definitely watching. I just had the volume down.
That's not right.
Now to play 1-1.
Not
How was
you,
Williamsport?
Dan.
Thank you. Tell us about Williamsport. How was it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
The kids were awesome. The Georgia team wins in a walk-off home run. The Japanese kid. I think it's the last level that you'll beat somebody for a world championship and then go out and hug them. But it was really a lot of fun.
It was the World Baseball Classic for kids, really.
That's right.
Yeah. Dalton Carricker.
Great sportsmanship by everybody involved.
Yeah, it was a fantastic event.
You see sometimes the disappointment in kids crying on the field, but I'm sure 15-20 minutes later they're all getting ice cream and having fun and smiling.
Up in the Grove, ping pong, video games. Yeah, they're kids.
Clemens falls behind another hitter. This is why the pitch count is getting up. He's already walked 4, hit 1 tonight. Haven't got any hits off him, but it has not been a clean performance thus far from Roger Clemens. Here's kind of a recap of the 2007 Little League World Series. Oral, one of our mainstays at Williamsport, as a team from Georgia defeated Tokyo in extra innings to win the championship. Second consecutive Georgia-based team to win the title.
The
and
kids
now
from
3-1.
Columbus, Georgia won it last year. A young man named Kyle Carter was a big part of that team this year. Dalton Carricker almost set a record for hitting in the Little League World Series. I think he hit 700.
How about the kid on Texas who in the consolation game was throwing a no-hitter and got through 5 2/3, but then reached his pitch limit, so
Garrett
he
Williams.
couldn't finish it off.
Garrett Williams, yeah. The new pitch count this year.
Ripped foul, 3-2.
So there's one major league player that hails from Warner Robins, Georgia. Who is it?
I should know this, covering the Little League World Series.
Russell Brandon.
Very good. You got it.
Very nice. Yes, that was in my notes.
I might have gotten a little happy.
The talking in your ears sort of thing.
I'll tell you what, why wouldn't they tell me? I was over there.
Actually, we'd like you to look bad. That's all.
Man, am I smart.
It's okay. I can make myself look bad. You guys don't need to try.
On their feet in support of Clemens. And the 3-2 is lined to center field. Cabrera over to left center to make the catch for the second out. Again, Veritek back to first. Up to 73 pitches now through 4 2/3, but with a 3-0 lead. Jim Torre, pitching coach Ron Guidry looking on. Julio Lugo is going to be the batter. He's grounded out twice. And probably the closest that the Red Sox came to a hit tonight was the first batter of the game when Lugo hit that screamer down to first, and Giambi made a terrific defensive play. Down and away, ball 1.
It's certainly the hardest hit ball from the Red Sox. As Giambi took a step and a dive and made a play on it. Remember, no Manny Ramirez in this lineup, which changes the dynamic and flow of the Red Sox offense.
And yeah, with a slightly strained oblique that the Red Sox are hoping is just going to cost him a couple more days. Grounder to third. Up with it, Rodriguez, inning over. To the bottom of the 5th at Yankee Stadium, still 3-0 for the Yankees.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Tennessee versus Cal. Saturday at 8 Eastern.
This jacket means something. Buying, selling, of course, but it's more than that. It's about the things that really matter. Listening and understanding and really putting yourself in someone else's shoes. It's about a standard. I choose to do what 144,000 other Century 21 agents around the world do. Wear this jacket.
Century 21. The gold standard.
Love the details, but you've never seen them like this. The full HD 1080p Aquos liquid crystal television from Sharp.
I remember watching that on TV with my dad. I was just a little guy, so it was just another home run to me. But my dad leaned over and said to me, "Charlie, remember this day. And remember, you can do anything." Whenever I see footage of that home run, I think about Hank. And I think about my dad.
This personal home run moment brought to you by State Farm.
There's a new home run champion.
There's no way to hide it. If you drive drunk, we will find you. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement and cracking down like never before.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Make no mistake, you will get caught and you will be arrested. Over the limit, under arrest.
In a one-game playoff between these two teams back in 1978, Bucky Dent homering off Mike Torres In the 7th inning, the Yankees would win the game, make the postseason, and then go on to win the World Series, one of the 26 World Championships the New York Yankees have. Will there be a 27th? They haven't won one since 2000. They're a half game back of Seattle for the wild card lead right now. They're 7 back of the Red Sox for the lead in the American League East. But they're winning again here tonight, 3-0. And they've got a 3-game series against those Seattle Mariners beginning here in the Bronx on Monday. Derek Jeter 2 for 2. He was up when Cabrera was thrown out trying to steal to end the bottom of the 4th inning. He'll be followed by Bobby Abreu and then Alex Rodriguez. Josh Beckett has been laboring tonight. He's given up 3 runs on 8 hits through 4 innings. He's walked 1 and struck out 4. Curve for a strike, 1-1.
You're right. He's labored, but he's made some big pitches and gotten out of some jams where this game could have gotten away from him. And he's given his team a chance to come back and score some runs. And the thought is you either get a fatiguing Roger Clemens or you get into the middle of that Yankee bullpen, which at times could be the soft underbelly of this team.
Well, and the 3 runs that he's given up have been on ground balls. Some of them seeing eye ground balls, not the home run like last year when he gave up 36 and 6, and he was 2nd in the American League in home runs, only 10 this year. And he really has shown himself to be able to rescue outings like this.
Can that be more frustrating for a pitcher when you make what you think is a good pitch and somebody hits an 8-hopper through the infield?
That's when you have to evaluate yourself on execution, not on results, because results can fool you sometimes. You can come out of games, give up 4 or 5 runs, get a loss, and be still on track.
He strikes out Jeter. Let's go to Scott Reese in the studio for a SportsCenter in-game.
All right, Dan, and a happy 30th birthday to Astros pitcher Roy Oswalt, helping his own cause against the Cardinals here as he knocks home Brad Ausmus. That makes it 3-0 Houston as the Cardinals continue to try and surge for the top of the Central. Cubs in first place. They send Carlos Zambrano to the hill against the recently activated Ben Sheets. No score in Chi-Town.
Well, Scott, there's no time like the present if the Brewers are going to turn it around. They've lost 5 in a row and have been playing bad baseball for a long time now. But because of the weakness of the NL Central, they're still in it. They're in 3rd, mind you, right now, behind the Cubs and the Cardinals. And amazingly enough, one of these teams is going to make the postseason. But then again, one of them made the postseason with 83 wins last year and won the World Series.
I tell you, the St. Louis Cardinals just keep on pushing, and it may be Tony La Russa's best managing season ever with all the adversity they faced this year. When you think about the struggles and the injuries, and they lost Jim Edmonds, they lost David Eckstein, they lost Scott Rowland for a period of time, Chris Carpenter, their ace, gone. They were already shorthanded and undermanned in my mind with their pitching staff, yet they battled back the death of Josh Hancock, a teammate. They've overcome that, and I really think the Rick Ankiel return to the major leagues gave them something to smile about. It became something positive in what's been a cloud of negativity around their team.
The 0-2 to Abreu's outside. Alex Rodriguez waiting on deck. He has struck out and singled so far tonight. The Yankees with all 3 of their runs in the bottom of the 2nd. Johnny Damon drove in 2 of them. Melky Cabrera the other. Veritek called off Beckett, safe at first as Abreu. Beckett was ready to make a play on that ball and then got called off by his catcher.
Well, Jason Veritek not only has a C on his jersey, but in this particular play, he is the captain also. Josh Beckett maybe makes him break his stride so he can't wrong foot it. Remember, Beckett threw one of these away down 3rd earlier. Veritek just kind of hit in no man's land. It's going to be a tough play for either one of them. Abreu barely beats it out.
A lot of time the catcher will call it here because he's moving toward first base where the pitcher's moving toward the line, then would have to plant and throw against his momentum. But you're right, it was in no man's land, a little too far for Veritek to be able to get to quickly enough as Bobby Abreu credited him for hustling down the line.
The 9th hit of the night for the Yankees, the 3rd infield hit the Yankees have had already tonight. And here's A-Rod. Broken to back, ground ball to short. The shovel to second for 1, back to first in time. Lugo to Pedroia to Youkilis. 6-4-3 inning ending double play.
When it comes to going bald, you now have a choice. Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
It is your real hair. It's your natural hair. You wash it, you cut it, you swim with it.
Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration experts, having pioneered virtually every major advancement in the art and science of hair restoration.
I'm very satisfied, very happy with what I've done. This has got to be one of the best decisions I've made in my life, I'll tell you that.
Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure. The results look completely natural, and it's affordable on nearly any budget. Call the toll-free number now to receive your free, no-obligation information kit that will help you decide if hair restoration at Bosley is right for you. You don't have to accept going bald. Do something about it right now.
Call 1-800-596-5916. That's 1-800-596-5916. Call now.
New, smooth, long-lasting Extra Supermint. Long-lasting.
No matter where we come from, one sport brings us all together. The people of Citgo salute baseball and all the incredible places the game can take us. Citgo, there at every turn.
ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Goodyear. Brought to you by new, smooth, long-lasting Extra Supermint, long-lasting Chew-phoria. Citgo, no matter where life takes you, there's a locally owned Citgo along the way. Citgo, there at every turn. And Quikrete Cement and Concrete Products. Quikrete, the king of the concrete jungle.
Back in New York, Yankee Stadium to be precise, a 3-0 lead for the Yankees over the Red Sox as we go to the top of the 6th inning. And since we let the cat out of the bag last inning, I guess there's no point trying to put it back in right now. Roger Clemens is not allowed to hit, although as we've discussed, the pitch count's getting up there. That was number 76.
Most he's thrown is 113.
And it's still early. Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, Mike Lowell. Down the right field line, and this will slice back out of play. When you were pitching, Earl, back in the olden days, when would you start taking it seriously? When would you start thinking about it?
I think the deepest I took one was 7 or 8 innings. I remember one against the Cincinnati Reds, like 7 2/3 or so. Nick Asaski got a hit off me, and then Tony Gwynn got a leadoff single off me, I think, in the 8th, maybe. Gwynn got a single off everybody.
Yeah, no
shame. You start thinking about it right about now. You started thinking about it right about now.
All right.
I mean, one time through the order, 3 innings, it's like, wow, that was really good. I'm off to a good start. Maybe I can get a win tonight, depending on how many runs. You get to the 5th, you're up 3-0. You're locked in. You're like, you know what? A little bit more than the win, possibly.
Chases a high pitch, Pedroia does, and he lifts a fly ball to right center. Cabrera there, calling off Abreu to make the grab, 1 down.
I don't mean to diminish what Roger Clemens is doing, but is he locked in? Because, I mean, even in that at bat to Dustin Pedroia, the first pitch was a high split that could have gone for a ball. Pedroia chased the ball out of zone. That pitch wasn't a very good pitch. He's walked 4 guys. He has a hit batter. Is this as much the Red Sox lineup aiding Roger Clemens?
I think so. In the absence of Manny Ramirez, I think them swinging at some pitches that are not in the strike zone, them wanting to hit Roger because he's an ex-Boston guy and a living legend. So yeah, I haven't seen Boston really grind out any at bats against him.
David Ortiz has come up swinging at the first pitch in his at bats.
Kevin Youkilis did the same thing. We rarely see that.
A lineup that sees the most pitches per plate appearance, the Boston Red Sox.
A towering fly ball headed to the right field corner. Fair or foul? A home run for David Ortiz.
David Ortiz looked like he was on some fastballs in his first 2 at-bats and just missed them. Last time driving one deep to the left field wall for Johnny Damon. This time a ball on the inner third of the plate, and he got one that he could drive.
Now 4 home runs in his last 5 games for Ortiz. First hit, first run allowed by Clemens. Off the glove of Clemens, redirects it. Cano spins and fires to get him. What a good play by Robinson Cano.
One to 4 to 3. You don't see it very often. But I'll tell you what, Roger Clemens comes right back at Lowell. He puts his glove up in self-preservation, but Robinson Cano ranging to his left, believe it or not, on that ball, going back to his original position, spins and throws accurately and firmly.
It's great agility right there, and the ability to turn so quickly and still pick up the target. Well done.
Well, he did a great job getting on top of that throw instead of side-arming it to make it more accurate.
So 2 outs now and an 0-1 count on Kevin Youkilis. Now let's go back to the David Ortiz at bat and the pitch that he hit out for his home run.
Well, this is the difference between 91, 92, 86, a hanging split, not a fastball. It breaks sideways, stays on the barrel of the bat, and David Ortiz keeps it fair. We talked about Roger Clemens coming into the American League Beast instead of the National League Central. Well, he's had 2 fly balls to left field that probably been home runs if he was still with Houston, and then that ball right there. So the home field advantage for Roger has really made his statistics shine here in Yankee Stadium.
3-1 this year with a 2.79 earned run average here at Yankee Stadium. ERA up close to 6 on the road. Feeding off of this crowd.
Well, and right now with this effort tonight, even though he hasn't been locked in, as you say, Steve, the Yankees are in desperate need of at least one of their other starters to complement Andy Pettitte and Chien-Ming Wang. And right now the other 2 spots in the rotation are currently occupied by rookies and Philip Hughes and Ian Kennedy, who's going to be called up to start on the weekend.
Well, if they have to count on one of the rookies being that guy, then they're in trouble. It has to be Roger Clemens.
Yep. 2-2.
Well, I've been on championship teams where rookies played significant roles. Jarrett Wright, Chad O.J. with Cleveland, both of them there. Tim Belcher in '88. So sometimes it is a rookie that steps up, and it can be a rookie starter. And those guys had big games in big series in the postseason.
Brian Cashman, the VP and GM of the Yankees, they're relying more on their own farm system, their young players, than they have just in the last 2 or 3 years. Robinson Cano, Chien-Ming Wang, Melky Cabrera, now Philip Hughes.
Remember in '99 with the Mets, you were GM, and I was on the club. We were hoping maybe Jason Isringhouse or somebody would come through. Was it Dotel was there? We were hoping Dotel could do the job and finish us off, and we just came a game short.
You know, when you look for predictability down the stretch, it's hard to count on young guys to do it. They can do it, but it's less predictable than the veteran who's been through it before, who has something to fall back on. Roger Clemens has that. The question is, does he have enough in his legs to get there?
Down and away, and Youkilis will draw the 5th walk that's been issued by Clemens tonight.
Well, David Ortiz sitting on a pitch. You see Jorge Posada set up outside. It was a very flat spit finger fastball that stayed up in the zone. He kind of goes out and hooks it and pulls it down the right field line. And I tell you what, when this guy can get it, he can drive it. And power numbers have been down a little bit. Number 25 on the season for David Ortiz. And they need him to get it done, especially without Manny Ramirez in the lineup.
Manny day-to-day with a strained oblique. Runner at first, 2 down, and the batter is J.D. Drew. And he'll take down and away ball 1.
That's the 90th pitch for Roger Clemens. 2 outs here. Really, it's hard to say, but the weak hitting J.D. Drew up at the plate, you would think that this could be Roger's last inning. Ron Guidry on the horn to the bullpen.
And again, the new sensation out of the pen for the Yankees, Jabba Chamberlain, is not going to pitch tonight. He pitched last night, and the Jabba rules dictate that if he pitches an inning, he gets a night off. If he pitches 2, he gets 2 nights off. He was a starter with the minors. He will be a starter next year, the Yankees say, and they want to make sure they don't damage his arm. So this is a night where they'll have to find Somebody else or a couple of somebodies to bridge the gap from Clemens to Rivera if they hold on to this lead. Three and 0. Well, let's get your thoughts. Oral as a pitcher and Steve as a general manager. When you've got a young talent, do you agree with these rules? Why have the Yankees instituted these rules here?
Well, I agree with the rules, but I wonder why they are public knowledge. Is it to corral Joe Torre in the way he would use him if he becomes a hot hand? Is it just an internal group meeting that they decided this is what we want to do, and to keep Joe off the hot seat as far as when he doesn't use the hot hand?
Well, I think he was a starter in the minor leagues, and they brought him up. He never pitched as a reliever. They want to protect that grind that a pitcher can get as a relief pitcher. He's never done it before. They're also, Joe Torre said today, he's at that point in his season where they didn't want to keep piling on innings, so they want to protect that a little bit as well. I think it's ultra conservative. I would not have a problem with a young guy like this, as strong as he is, going back-to-back days, 1 inning each, and then having a day off.
Base hit through the right side for Drew. Youkilis had to leap to get out of the way of the ball. Still is going to make the turn and get into third base.
Well, it is the underbelly of the Yankee pitching staff that possibly could get exposed right here at the end of this inning or next inning.
Right-hander Luis Vizcaíno was up in the Yankee pen.
Vizcaíno has been much better the second half of the season, and ERA just up over 1. Java Chamberlain has solidified that bullpen with 8 appearances, yet to give up a run.
You know, if we get back to Chamberlain for a second, do you guys think, let's say it's the last week of the season and the Yankees are still fighting for their playoff lives, do you relax the rules at that point if the guy is as important to them as he is right now?
I do.
I think you need to, for sure.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think that, you know, part of it is not so much to corral Joe Torre. It's to make it clear this kid's a special kid, Java Chamberlain, and they have big plans for him to be a starting pitcher in the future, and they don't want to risk any of that, not even if it means winning this year, because they think he's going to help them win multiple titles in years to come.
For those of you sitting at home, this young man throws a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He's got a devastating slider that he can throw to righties and lefty that is absolutely unhittable, and he has 2 other pitches that are plus big league pitches, the curveball and the changeup. Right now it's all been about fastball and slider, but is it like 10 innings or so and 17 strikeouts already?
Yep. Here's Veritek. All of a sudden the Red Sox bring the go-ahead run to the plate in what feels like last batter for Roger Clemens, whether he gets him or not. Veritek thought that pitch was outside. He has walked both times up tonight. The Red Sox getting a run this inning on the home run by David Ortiz, and then a 2-out walk to Youkilis and a base hit by Drew. Now a big swing and a miss by Veritek, and the count is 0-2. Veritek batting from the right side last night against Andy Pettitte with a home run, his 12th of the season.
Tonight, Roger Clemens is throwing Veritek nothing but a diet of split-finger fastballs, and Jason Veritek's kind of pulling off the ball. He's got to stay on it and think about hitting it to left center field. He's opening up, swinging like he's going to get to a fastball, cheating a little bit, and not able to do it, and that's why he has struck out so much in his career. If he's going to hit this split, he's going to have to stay and look to drive it over Derek Jeter's head.
Clemens concerned about the runners right now. Youkilis at third, Drew at first. Down and away.
Well, the first thing you have to do before you hit it is you have to know how to take it, to recognize it, to understand if it's a fastball or a split, a ball or a strike.
You can tell the way the Yankees are playing defense with Cano over in the hole that Clemens really wants to get him out with the split. Giambi not much range at first.
Off the end of the bat, a weak ground ball right out to Cano at second, and the inning is over. So Clemens gets out of it. The Sox get a one on the home run by Ortiz, but the Yankees still lead at 3-1.
Quikrete Concrete. For over 60 years, it's been used by just about everyone for just about everything. Quikrete, king of the concrete jungle.
I remember watching that on TV with my dad. I was just a little guy, so it was just another home run to me. But my dad leaned over and said to me, "Charlie, remember this day. And remember, you can do anything." Whenever I see footage of that home run, I think about Hank. And I think about my dad.
This personal home run moment brought to you by State Farm.
There's a new home run champion.
Agility captured by the world's most advanced four-wheel active steering system. Now cornering is more precise, handling more responsive. The all-new 330 horsepower Infiniti G Coupe. Intensity captured.
How can you get pizzeria taste without the pizzeria place? With new DiGiorno Ultimate, pizzeria taste right in your home. New DiGiorno Ultimate uses whole milk mozzarella, plump mushrooms and sausage, thick pepperoni, and julienne peppers for authentic pizzeria taste. But while the pizzeria seats you next to the team from Manny's Plumbing,
Guys, let's play.
with new DiGiorno Ultimate, you sit by someone much nicer. This really worked out. For ultimate pizzeria taste, it's new DiGiorno Ultimate.
How you doing?
What's true for shrimp cocktail is true for all cocktails. Always in moderation.
I'm Tony Sinclair, and that's how you Tanqueray.
Paul McCartney having a good time here at Yankee Stadium tonight, showing off his arm, signing some autographs. We saw a pretty good glove hand moments ago from Mr. McCartney. Yankees 3, Red Sox 1. We also saw a little bit of a flinch. Hey!
he thought Lorne Michaels had it all the way behind him.
Having a good time here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees leading the Red Sox 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
He even brought a sign to the game. How about that?
The Crystals here, Kevin Bacon, Lorne Michaels.
Tiger Woods was here yesterday.
That's right. Penny Marshall's here. Hideki Matsui lines the ball to right field. Whoa, that almost skipped right past J.D. Drew to the fence. As you can see, he said that ball was knuckling on me a little bit. He had to look into his glove to make sure he still had it.
J.D. Drew does his best Doug Marabelli imitation out in right field. There's the ball's knuckling toward him right there. And didn't quite drop as much as he thought it was going to. Yeah, had it all the way. You know what? His heart's pounding right now.
It's up to like 45 beats a minute. Here's Jorge Posada, base hit and a strikeout.
When he retires, he can be a fireman.
Well, Beckett wanted that one. So did Veritek, but Posada takes the curveball low for ball 1. Each catcher, when they've been up there, at times has not liked a certain pitch when they've been up there as a hitter, and you know they've been politicking to get the same calls just to have it consistent when they're behind the plate. As Posada takes another close pitch, but it's inside for ball 2.
Well, the ball away, Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire, the ball away low he's called, and the ball away high he is called, but the one up and in he's not given to the pitcher.
Posada chases 2-1. He was looking for the fastball there, and he didn't get it.
Again, that just shows the maturation of Josh Beckett. This game could have spun away from him in the second inning. He continues to go with quality stuff. If you look at the 2 starting pitchers and who's really on their game, you'd have to say Beckett over Clemens, but not on the scoreboard.
Ripped into right field, a base hit for Posada. The 10th hit of the night for the Yankees.
You know, for me, Steve, we've talked about the maturation of Beckett, the secondary stuff, and how it's really made him the pitcher he is. Tonight he's going for his 17th win, which would be #1 in the major leagues, 17th career high. But it's all about the two-seamer, as we watch 3 examples of that, to righties and to lefties to the arm side, and the way he can bury it and keep it down, make the ball hit on the ground, and then the breaking ball, the command of being able to throw it for a strike or to be able to bounce it. He has just really become a complete pitcher.
Well, those breaking balls are unbelievable. I mean, it's the ability to get the ball to move like that in such a short distance between the pitcher's mound and home plate.
And so late. And you know, the definition of late is that the original trajectory of the ball does not relate to what is happening at the end. Hitters read trajectory out of your hand. If the ball goes up, oh, it's a curveball. If the ball comes straight out of your hands coming downhill, it's a fastball. If the ball comes out with immediate topple spin, it's a split. His ball comes out of his hand 4 different pitches, the same trajectory, and then does something different.
Well, we talk about Beckett and Roger Clemens, and you know, Beckett gave up the 3 runs in the 2nd inning. Roger Clemens got into some trouble but got out of it. As a pitcher, do you know when this pitch in this situation is a game critical pitch?
Oh yeah. And you feel like there are 4 or 5 batters a game that make or break the game, and you feel like there are 4 or 5 pitches that make or break the game. And one of the things is controlling your emotions and executing when you know that moment is on you. And usually it's a 2-2, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. You need a punch out, you know. It's bases loaded, 1 out. You need the ground ball. You've got the guy set up. He's out there looking for the fastball. If you take a little off, you get the ground ball.
And in those moments, Beckett has gotten the big outs tonight. We talked about the 3 runs in the 2nd, but in the 3rd, a 1-out triple by Hideki Matsui, and then Beckett struck out Jorge Posada and Jason Giambi to keep the deficit at the time at just 3 runs. He got a big double play in the 5th inning as well.
Well, and the frustration of throwing the ball away, and then that possibly could have melted the inning. He'd already had 30 pitches in that inning, so mentally fatigued, physically fatigued, but still able to gather himself and execute. And he's in a game right now where he could win, giving up 10 hits, 3 runs against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, and this is a guy they can count on.
Make it 11 hits now. A line drive to right for Giambi. Posada stops at 2nd. You saw John Farrell was on the phone, and they're going to get something going on out in their bullpen, the Red Sox will.
Well, it looks like a high fastball. 93 just gets under it a little bit. Giambi does a good job staying on top of it, not popping it up. When Jason's not swinging the bat, well, that's a pop-up. Right there shows him with a good swing, high backside, hitting a line drive.
Now that pitch to Jason Giambi has to be down and away, or you want to throw him inside with that fastball, because he's pulling a pitch on the outside part of the plate, which to me immediately says he's vulnerable inside, because he's reaching out to try to hook the ball to pull it. That's where I think they've got to go back in on him instead of going away with that fastball up in the zone.
Season high 11 hits allowed by Beckett tonight. You saw right-hander Mike Timlin and left-hander Javier Lopez up in the Red Sox pen. Lopez is a guy the Red Sox recalled. They sent John Lester down to make 1 start down in the minors and gave a start to Julian Tavares so they would have another lefty out of the pen for this series against the Yankees. That's why Lopez is back. Timlin, by the way, his next appearance will be number 999 in his career. John Henry, the principal owner of the Red Sox, looking on here at Yankee Stadium, as he did last night as well. Saw his Red Sox lose 5-3 last night, and they're trailing again here tonight. The batter is Robinson Cano. He has walked and scored and grounded out. First pitch swinging, fly ball to left field. Hinske tracking it for the 2nd out, and the runners retreat. The significance of this game in the American League East, the Yankees are 7 back of Boston after winning last night. So that may remain more of a dream than a reality for Yankee fans. In the wild card, though, it is very real. Seattle lost again today to the Angels, and the Yankees are a half game out.
You're the Red Sox, and you look at it, and you pretty much have the division in hand, but don't you want to keep the Yankees out of the playoffs? I mean, isn't that some level of motivation for this Red Sox team?
I think for sure.
Certainly for their fans, but I think that for the team as well. It's tough if they played each other.
The season series is 7-6 right now.
For the Red Sox, yeah.
The Yankees have won 6 out of the last 7 season series since 2000.
We got a pinch runner coming in now for the Yankees as Andy Phillips is going to run for Jason Giambi at first base. They stay in the game and play first base. The Yankees are already with the lead, so they get a faster runner, better defender. Although Giambi's made the defensive play of the night here tonight, or one of them anyway.
It was early.
Yes. Preserved the no-hitter.
Oh, boy.
But the other thing is Giambi is the better offensive player, and you're taking it this move in the 6th inning where that spot will come up again in the game, and you may want that offense.
Melky Cabrera looks at a strike.
I'll tell you what, this is the type of game that could win or lose Josh Beckett a Cy Young. This kind of effort, his offense comes back. He squeaks out a W here to go the major league lead at 17 wins. That's what he's pitching for. Because the division, like we said, is kind of in hand. They want to win this game, but Josh has really shown himself very, very well.
It's crowded up there in the Cy Young conversation in the American League. Danny Herron's got to be in the conversation. Kelvin Escobar, Johan Santana, Eric Bedard, John Lackey. I mean, any one of about a half dozen guys could make a pretty good case.
And I would make the argument that wins is probably one of the last things you should look at. It's more of a team number. And look at the ERA and opponent's batting average, strikeouts, innings pitched per start, kind of the dominance numbers.
In those categories, there are others who are ahead of Josh Beckett. He's 9th in the league in strikeouts, 7th in the league in ERA, and he's not in the top 10 in innings pitched. So
he's 5th in WHIP, though, walks and hits and innings pitched, which is pretty dominant.
But it's a lot of familiar names like Bedard, Santana, Lackey, Escobar, Herron.
And Steve, you might say that wins don't count, but I'm telling you, the voters look at an awful lot.
I agree with you. In my mind,
in a vacuum,
I would say that they're not as important. They don't tell the whole story as much as some of the other numbers do.
Right.
2-2.
You're right, though. I mean, if you have 14 wins and somebody else has 18, I'm not really sure your ERA is going to win out. Roger Clemens
and then if your
lost
team
that argument last
gets to the playoffs or not, I think is a little bit of the frosting on the cake. I'll tell you, the backdoor breaking ball has been the out pitch for him. I wouldn't be surprised right here out of that fastball high and away for a ball. That's where they go.
The 2-2. And they do go there, and it's bounced up the middle. Lugo's got it. The throw to first, not in time. Another infield hit for the Yankees, their 4th of the night, and the bases are loaded.
Well, even though they didn't get the out, this is an outstanding play by Julio Lugo to go ranging far to his left and at least even get the attempt. But the key part of that is keeping it in the infield. If that ball trickles out to the outfield, it's another run tacked on at the end of Josh Beckett's night. Now they've got a chance to get out of this inning and expect Terry Francona to give him a chance to do it.
Do you guys think if Giambi's still at first that Lugo takes a shot at the force at second base there, or was he going to first base all the time?
I think he was already out and beyond second base. He had to come to first. And you know what? He knew the runner's speed, so he didn't take the extra stutter step to get a lot on the throw. He knew he had to get rid of it quickly. Johnny
Damon, a 2-run homer last night, a 2-run single already tonight as he takes outside, ball 1. Particularly sweet for Damon to do some damage against his old club. A little bit of animosity, it seems, just lurking beneath the surface that Damon felt the contract he got from the Red Sox was below market value. He took a much more lucrative deal to come to the Yankees. No hard feelings towards the fans from him, but you got to believe that it's sweet for him to do some damage against Boston.
Now we're going to see how much confidence Josh Beckett has in any sort of a breaking ball. I think here 2-0, he's got to come fastball and I think he gets the ground ball.
It's a two-seamer right down the middle. You get the ground ball. You've been doing that all night. Unfortunately, they found holes, but you trust the probabilities of baseball. A ground ball is what you need.
Well, To the outside corner with that two-seamer, 2-1.
At 95 miles an hour down and away, huh?
And we know for a fact that 2 is not curveball, because the only sign we saw with fingers was 2 there, and the rest of it was body language.
Now, we saw Johnny Damon take a ball away and punch it to left field early in the game. Any thought of coming inside on him with a fastball?
I wouldn't mind it. If you're going to go two-seamer, more towards the inner half, but this has to be a strike. I'm going to go strength against strength, man against man. Here I come.
Missed. 3-1. And nowhere to put him. Posada at third. Phillips at second. And Cabrera at first. And Josh Beckett up against it here at Yankee Stadium. Over 100 pitches on the night is Beckett. There for a strike, full count. Well, he keeps challenging him, Orel, like you were talking about.
Well,
do it again.
Yeah, those pitches for me, in trying to win the game, don't have enough of the plate. I have Josh Beckett stuff. I am mid-90s with life. I am right down Broadway with movement.
Fans on their feet. Runners will be on the move. The 3-2 pitch and a swing and a bouncer to the right side. Beckett's got to get over in a hurry, and he does just in time for the out. So the Yankees denied as they leave him loaded here in the bottom of the 6th. Maybe the biggest play of the game, depending on if Boston can mount a comeback here in the late innings.
The best in mixed martial arts action is back as King of the Cage presents Collision Course. Watch as Clay French defends his lightweight title for the first time as he takes on Royce Gracie black belt and KOTC veteran Buddy Clinton. And Manny Mean Bean Rodriguez defends his heavyweight title for the first time against Ben Horchata Bibi. 2 men will enter the cage and only one will walk away a champion. King of the Cage Collision Course. Available this month on Dish Network pay-per-view.
Shearing, enemy of engines. Enemy of shearing, Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with adaptive molecules that continually separate and reform to help conquer the forces that can tear oil molecules apart. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Do you know Game Day? Go to collegegameday.com to find out. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Season begins Saturday.
Agility captured by the world's most advanced four-wheel active steering system. Now cornering is more precise, handling more responsive. The all-new 330 horsepower Infiniti G Coupe. Intensity captured.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Goodyear. Liberty Yankee Stadium with Steve Phillips and Orel Hershiser. I'm Dan Shulman. A 3-1 lead for the Yankees. They're out hitting the Red Sox 12-2, but the Yankees are leaving men on all over the place. Josh Beckett getting out of a jam in the bottom of the 6th, got the ground ball he needed as the Yankees leave him loaded, and now the Yankees go to their pen. Right-hander Luis Vizcaíno makes his 68th appearance of the season. A guy who quietly, Steve, has been a pretty steady performer the last couple of months for the Yankees.
You look at that .211 batting average since the All-Star break, and the ERA just barely over 1. Outstanding split, fastball and slider.
This appearance ties him with the Baltimore's Jamie Walker for the league lead. 68 appearances. Andy Phillips, who ran for Jason Giambi, stays in the game at first base. Coco Crisp shows bunt, and he takes outside to get the Boston 7th underway.
The running and bunting has been a little bit of the Boston offense tonight. Manny Ramirez not in the game. Dustin Pedroia tried to bunt for a hit with one out. With Roger Clemens on the mound, got credit for a sacrifice. Tried to steal a base also. Here Coco trying to lead off with possibly a bunt.
The Red Sox, you got to feel pretty good about still being in this game. This one could be over by now, the way things have gone.
Well, 12 hits and only 3 runs. And how about that last inning? 3 hits and no double plays, and the Yankees failed to score. I mean, that does not happen very often.
Especially when one hit is an infield hit, right?
Now to back 1-2.
Well, Coco Chris has served as a leadoff man at different times in his career. Formerly with the Cleveland Indians, came over in the trade with the Boston Red Sox last year. The offensive numbers not quite what they wanted, and this year has picked it up a little bit. But this situation, Terry Francona's wanting him to be a leadoff hitter, get on base, and bring the tying run to the plate.
Got another sellout here at Yankee Stadium, 54,986, the 37th sellout this year for the Yankees. Even the next to last season of this ballpark. Missing inside is Vizcaino, 2-2. Have a new Yankee Stadium in 2009, a new stadium for the Mets in 2009 as well, which will be known as Citi Field. And the All-Star Game to commemorate the final season of Yankee Stadium will be held here next July. Down and in, full count. After Crisp, it'll be Eric Hinsky, and then back to the top of the order for Julio Lugo.
Talk about Jobber Chamberlain not available for the Yankees because of their protection of him. Means Kyle Farnsworth probably comes into play, possibly in the 8th inning.
Looking pretty relaxed out there tonight. Swing and a miss by Crisp, and Vizcaino strikes him out for the first out of the inning. And let's revisit our game track tonight here at Yankee Stadium and how we got to this point of the game. Melky Cabrera with an RBI single in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and then Johnny Damon with a big 2-run single through the left side and made it 3-0 for the Yankees. Roger Clemens went 6 innings. The first hit he allowed was the home run to David Ortiz in the 6th inning. After 5 1/3 no-hit innings, a towering fly ball into the upper deck, just fair. Home run number 25 for Ortiz, and we are now in the 7th. The Yankees 3 and the Red Sox 1. Vizcaino takes a little off, and it's 0-1 on Hinsky.
That was a devastating 2-seamer right there. You look at the bottom of the soles right there, Jobber's feet. Those are tennis shoes. He doesn't have spikes on. It's a serious rule.
I think that makes it pretty clear he's not pitching tonight. Maybe he's running a 5K or something.
Doing cardio.
They had one situation where he went an inning, and I think he only threw 8 or 9 pitches. And even so, they said he's not pitching the next day. And it's evidently it's Nardi Contreras, who's their minor league pitching coordinator, who had devised the rules. But I know we were talking outside the stadium before the game, and Oral, you've never heard of something like this where the minor leagues are dictating to the major leagues how a player will be used when he gets to the major leagues, right?
It's a little out of the ordinary for me. You know, suggestions usually come, but you're talking about Joe Torre, one of the most successful managers in the history of the Yankees in the game. If Joe can't manage the bullpen, I don't know, who can.
I've got Ron Guidry, the pitching coach at the major league level. Really only was a major league pitching coach, never was part of a minor league system, never really developed players, so probably not as in tune with the development process.
But Brian Cashman's got to be on board with these rules, right? The general manager has to be a part of this.
Well, I think he'd have to ask the question. He said, guys, if we're going to bring him up, he's got stuff. How are we going to protect him? And he looked for that advice. I mean, I think that I don't think a minor league pitching coordinator would throw that out there without the general manager or somebody asking for that sort of plan to protect his arm.
I think you get a little different reaction in Detroit with Jim Leyland. What do you think?
Well, but Jimmy Leyland, a long-time minor league manager. He's,
Right.
you know, he understands that development process. But he
so does
also
Joe
says
Torre.
he also says, you know what? Hey, go out there and give me the talent. Let's go get them. I think they're being ultra-conservative with Job. I really do. And that, you know, and Joe's saying, look, I'll do whatever if I can get his arm up here. I'll follow whatever rule I have to do. Just let me have him.
Joe's toeing the line, but in some ways, for me, it's a backhanded, disrespect to him.
Ground ball to first, a roller to Phillips. He'll wave off Vizcaino, 2 down. Folks, stay tuned for the Baby Ruth 7th inning stretch coming up from the studio at the end of this half inning. Scott Reese will get you up to date on everything you need to know. All kinds of action from around the major leagues. Some daytime games that are complete as well that have had an impact on the races around baseball. Now, Chamberlain worked the 8th inning in last night's win. Rivera the 9th. That's why Chamberlain is a no-go tonight. Why Vizcaino was in. And perhaps Farnsworth, who has been pitching much better lately, will work the 8th inning here tonight. The batter Julio Lugo 0 for 3, all on ground balls. Pop-up back out of play. It's a ball and a strike.
You talk about this Yankee bullpen, and if you're going to have an effective bullpen, you need a guy with a rubber arm like Luis Vizcaino. And we talked about his appearances leading the American League this year. Well, last season, 70 appearances. The year before for the White Sox, 65. Before that, 73, 75, 76. This guy takes the ball and can bring stuff every night they put him out there.
Well, how many different guys have the Yankees tried in the last 4 or 5 years in this kind of a role?
Well, Joe Torre typically has 3 or 4 relievers near the top of appearances every season, because in New York, with George Steinbrenner being the owner, that thought of, well, I may have to sacrifice today to win tomorrow. That's not the mentality here. Joe Torre has to win every game, or he has to answer to the boss. And the result of that is you may burn out some bullpen every once in a while.
Well, perhaps the Jabba rules are another indication of how George Steinbrenner's influence may not be as strong as it was. A lot of talk that his health is just not what it was, and he's not as active a participant in running the organization as he used to be. And maybe that's the reason why Nardi Contreras or Brian Cashman or whomever has been able to institute these kinds of rules, that they are thinking more long-term now than short-term, which they used to all the time. I mean, they used to trade all their Jabba Chamberlains away to get veterans, and now they're holding on to those prospects.
And I tell you what, if they win tonight and tie Seattle for the wild card, maybe that thinking is going to get a little more short-term.
It's remarkable to me they only have 22 saves this season. 22 saves, last in the American League. They've won 73 games and only 22 have been saves.
They can win big and they can lose ugly too. They've had a lot of wild games.
That's what it tells you.
Yeah.
One-run games this year, they're 11-17, so they're not winning the close ones. In comparison, the Arizona Diamondbacks have won 29 one-run games this year.
Well, they got back into contention coming out of the All-Star break. They played 29 games in a row against sub-500 teams and it went 21-8. As now Vizcaino is going to get a visit from Ron Guidry. But once it gets, if they make the playoffs, if they're going up against the Angels, the Indians, the Red Sox, teams like that at various points in the playoffs, will their weaknesses get exposed? Back of the rotation, middle relief, defense, those kinds of things.
Well, in the playoffs, back of the rotation doesn't factor because you're only playing a short series and you need 3 deep with your starting pitching with the way the off days fall. So Pettit, one of the best postseason pitchers in the game. Chien-Ming Wang, who's having another pretty good year, although his performance not as good this season as last. And if Roger Clemens is your 3rd starter and you need 3, I mean, you could do worse. You could do worse in an offense that can blow you out.
Yeah, you can ride 2 hot starters and 2 hot bullpen pieces, a hot piece of your offense, and the postseason is stretched out this year. A few more off days.
Pedroia with a fly ball to right field, and that is all for the Red Sox here in the 7th. They leave a man on. It's the Yankees 3 and the Red Sox 1. It is time now for the Baby Ruth 7th inning stretch. Let's send you back to the studio and once again join Scott Reese.
All right, Dan, thanks much. As the God Bless America at Yankee Stadium, we update you on the pennant races, the wild card chases in both leagues, beginning with the Mets and the Phillies. And, of course, New York is trying to fend off both Philadelphia and Atlanta, and Jimmy Rollins trying to keep his team in that chase. Second straight day with a home run for the Philly leadoff man. But the Phil's not done. Same inning, it's Pat Burrell going yard off of Oliver Perez. His third long ball in the last 5 games. And it's a 2-1 game. Now 2-2 in the 5th, and the bases are loaded. There's that Met killer again, Burrell. This one stays in the yard, but it is deep enough for a sacrifice fly, and that is where we stand now. 3-2 Phils, bottom 8 in the city of brotherly love. What about the first place Cubs in the NL Central? Taking on the Brewers. Good pitching matchup, Zambrano versus Sheets. Corey Hart, he's going to run for a while. Prince Fielder scores on the triple. And we've got ourselves a 1-1 ball game. And the Brew Crew gets to Zambrano again in the 5th. Gabe Gross seeing more playing time as August turns to September. Off the ivy, here comes Ricky Weeks with a go-ahead run. And the Brewers trying to get back within a game and a half of front-running Chicago. Trail it 2-1. How about the Cards and Astros? St. Louis just 2 back of the Cubs beginning play. Lance Berkman going upstairs. 25th of this year, 250 for his career. It's now a 4-0 Houston lead. American League, Indians, Twins. Asdrubal Cabrera off of Johan Santana. Cabrera wins the battle. That makes it 1-0, and now it's 2-0, and Victor Martinez goes out. His 21st, now a 4-3 game as the Indians try to beat Johan Santana for the 4th time this season. And earlier, Angels, Mariners, and Vladdy Guerrero helping the Los Angeles cause and the Yankee cause. His 22nd, Angels win at 8-2, so if the Yanks win, they are tied for the wild card lead. Back to the Bronx after this.
Sink your teeth into the official candy bar of Major League Baseball. Baby Ruth from Nestle. It's loaded with good stuff you can really savor.
They put the special in Special Forces. This is the Army.
Hey there, Sarge. Snap into a Slim Jim.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
Bill Engvall. DJ Qualls. Delta Force. Directed by C.B. Harding on DVD September 4th.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. A Wednesday night baseball presented by Goodyear's. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees lead the Red Sox 3-1. Try to make it 2 in a row over Boston and close within 6 of the Red Sox in the American League East. Let's check out our pitching summary presented by AT&T, the new leader in wireless. The Red Sox didn't get a hit off Roger Clemens until there was 1 out in the 6th. A home run by David Ortiz, the only real blemish for Clemens. Josh Beckett, some hard hit balls, some grounders that got through, and 4 infield hits he has allowed tonight. But he has minimized the damage. The Yankees have left 7 men on through 6 innings, 6 of them in scoring position. And as Jeter comes to the plate for the bottom of the 7th, Beckett remains on the mound. Look at the upcoming schedule for the Yankees after they finish up this series tomorrow with Boston. They'll take on the Devil Rays, and then Seattle is here Monday through Wednesday. There's one more 3-game series with the Red Sox at Fenway, middle of September, with 2 of those games televised on ESPN.
Take a look at that. Kansas City Royals aren't laying down for anybody. Neither are the Toronto Blue Jays. Those are not going to be easy matchups.
Kansas City has won 3 of their last 4 contests with Detroit, giving them a hard time right now.
Jeter 2 for 3, a single and a double. He'll be followed by Bobby Abreu and Alex Rodriguez. Dances away from an inside pitch as the activity resumes out in the Boston bullpen.
Well, Josh Beckett has started off Derek Jeter the last couple times up with that 2-seam fastball in on his hands to back him off the plate, knowing that Jeter likes to lean out over that plate, take the inside pitch and punch it the other way, giving himself some thought of being able to bury that fastball down and away.
Jeter lines one to right center, but Crisp is there to make the play for out number 1.
Well, as far as Josh Beckett finishing this game, now 106 pitches. That was a key out for him personally to get himself a shot at getting back in the dugout and his offense coming out and getting him some runs.
This has been one gutsy effort by Josh Beckett. He doesn't have his good stuff, doesn't have his good command. He's gotten himself into trouble, didn't field his position well.
24th start, 19 times he's gone 5 or more innings. So he's showing that he's the workhorse.
The 12 hits he's allowed tonight, a career high as he starts Abreu with a curveball for a strike. Got to be some good memories for Beckett coming back here, as difficult to place as it is to pitch and as difficult to line up as he's facing. This, of course, was the scene of his greatest triumph, Game 6 of the 2003 World Series as a member of the Florida Marlins. On short rest, went the distance in the series clinching win.
It was a 5-hitter. It was definitely dominant.
Remember that Marlins team, it's one of the things that makes you think young, fresh arms in the postseason can run some fastball by even some of the best hitters.
He was the MVP of that series.
Brad Penny on that staff, Carl Pavano, Dontrell Willis, as the Marlins beat the Yankees to win the World Series 4 years ago.
You think back to that Marlins team, they didn't have Beckett rules back then, like the Java rules or Pavano rules or Burnett rules. And if the talent is ready, at some point maybe you turn them loose.
Well, we've seen both kinds of situations. Francisco Rodriguez came up in 2002 and instantly became as big a factor in the Angel pen as Jabba Chamberlain has become in the Yankee pen, and he pitched all the time. Swing and a miss, and Abreu has gone 2 down. Number 6 for Beckett. Show the world what a real fan looks like. Reenact an immortal postseason moment, and you could win a trip to the World Series. Just go to Actober.com for your chance to win.
What moment you gonna reenact, Earl? Huh?
Oh, I don't know.
So many to choose from.
Oh. Probably Gibson's home run.
Yeah, that would be yours.
Yeah. I can run around with a limp now for sure. I don't even have to act.
Here's A-Rod, 1 for 3. What about your part in it? You were on the playoff roster, as I recall, that year. And you did all right in '88.
Oh yeah,
right.
I barely made the roster.
You did all right.
I didn't have any rules either.
No.
It was kind of fun. Had some nice playoffs.
It was kind of fun.
It's kind of fun.
Now, if you reenact it, would you have to color the hair to do it, or would you go
easy? Well, I wouldn't have to lose any weight. Everything's there, good there. I probably have to gain some muscle though, some arm speed.
Rodriguez hooks a ball to deep left field for a home run. A line drive homer for A-Rod. Number 44 on the season, and the Yankee lead is back to 3.
Josh Beckett struck out Alex Rodriguez on a curveball early on where he fooled him and made him look silly. This time Alex Rodriguez looked like he might have even flinched just a little bit, but he stayed back down on the ball and was able to drive it out of the ballpark.
Smiles in the Yankee dugout. Rodriguez coming out for the curtain call, and Terry Francona has gone to the mound and taken the ball from Josh Beckett. So left-hander Javier Lopez will be coming in for Boston as Beckett leaves. The final pitch that he throws tonight winds up in the left field seats.
When my doctor told me my high blood pressure may have led to my erectile dysfunction, I was surprised. But then he said there was something I could do.
When I found out my diabetes could have led to my ED, I learned there was help.
My doctor told me about Levitra.
Levitra is clinically proven to work for men with ED, even those with high blood pressure or diabetes. Levitra is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. If you have heart problems or are on alpha blocker therapy, talk to your doctor before taking Levitra. Do not take Levitra if you take nitrates for chest pains, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing and stuffy or runny nose. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience an erection lasting longer than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Levitra and call your doctor right away.
Doctors know Levitra helps treat ED, even in men with high blood pressure.
And in men with diabetes. Over 1 million men just like me have already taken Levitra.
You should talk to your doctor about Levitra.
The more you know about ED, the more you'll want to know about Levitra.
One day you find it's not business as usual. Your hair is gray, and you wonder, will people still see me as a valuable player? Is my career going down? How do you stop that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy, with 5-minute target gray technology.
Now doors are opening, and you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
There will be no win 17 for Josh Beckett tonight. He gives up the Alex Rodriguez home run. That ends his night.
Well, you remember the battle they had earlier where we actually had Alex flinch on a curveball. This one, Alex makes the adjustment. He flinches a little but keeps the front side closed, and he's able to be as strong as number 13 is, driving on out of here.
Just the 11th home run given up by Beckett this year. Left-hander Javier Lopez comes in to face Hideki Matsui, with the Yankees now leading 4-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Lopez got caught in a numbers game a few weeks ago and got sent down to the minors, even though, as you can see, he has done his job by and large. Left-handed specialist, side armor. And they brought him back for this series. They wanted another lefty out of the pen to face guys just like this, Matsui.
The left-hander's hitting .246 against him on the season. Righty's .224, so effective against both. But that different look, which is one of the things you want out of your pen, is you don't want all the same arm slots and release points. You want different looks to throw off the hitters so they can't get locked in.
Looped into shallow left center, a base hit. And Matsui is 2 for 4. Well, the Red Sox now with Lopez back, Del Carmen up, Gagne pitching better lately, Timlin pitching well, Okajima, Applebaum. There are a lot of different looks, and there's a lot of ability in that Boston bullpen.
Well, and having a situational lefty as well as Okajima, who could pitch a whole inning against right-handers and left-handers. Really a very well-balanced and deep bullpen.
By the way, that home run for Alex Rodriguez, career home run number 508, as he ties Frank Thomas for 20th on the all-time list. Here's Posada, 2 for 3. The Yankees are out hitting the Red Sox 14-2 and leading 4-1.
We talk about playoff pitching staffs. How thick can the Red Sox staff get when all of a sudden they only need 3 starters? They are really going to have some quality arms in middle relief, including who already's down there.
Well, how do you exclude one of the top 4 that they've got? Even if you could go 3, do you want to stay 4 because of how good and all 4 of them are?
Well, I'd have to go 3 if I can get back to Josh Beckett for Game 5 of any series. Game 4 of any series in Matsuzaka. I'm going to go those 2 guys. And the question really is, if they do go 3, is it Wakefield or Schilling? Schilling, a great postseason pitcher, but not the same guy that we know from the past.
What if Wakefield wins 20 games this year? I mean, he's got 16 wins.
You win 2 games in relief in the playoffs.
Yeah. Boy, that knuckleball coming in relief, though, to me is
hard.
It's dicey with runners on, especially this. I mean, maybe it started inning, but not with runners on base.
He'd be the kind of guy if a starter only goes 3, 4, 5 innings to bring him in.
It's the kind of guy you can have quick hooks with your starters.
Yeah. Well, plus though, you might have to change catchers because Jason Varitek not really the typical catcher.
Right. Ball 4. So Lopez has surrendered a base hit and now a base on the balls, and that's going to get Terry Francona out again. The call has been made to the bullpen, and Mike Timlin is going to come in as we step aside one more time with the Yankees leading 4-1 here in the Bronx.
Rumors that Kenny Lofton's on the move again.
Where to now? He's going back to the Dodgers?
And in baseball news, looks like Kenny Lofton may be traded to the Boston Red Sox.
Inside sources tell me he's heading to New York.
Kenny Lofton stuff? Take it to Chicago.
No matter what Major League Baseball needs or where, DHL delivers.
I hear Lofton's going to Atlanta.
Make that New York.
It's not Chicago, it's
Lofton
Boston.
may be headed to California.
Make that Northern California.
Make that Japan.
DHL, ground, international, overnight. Customer service is back in shipping.
Horsepower is here, and no leading synthetic oil delivers more power than Q horsepower, which is why it's recommended by Ferrari for every oil change. New Q horsepower. Unleash all your horses.
What is it? Looks like a giant ball of cables. It's getting bigger! It's getting bigger! Ned, what does it all mean?
It means we got an IBM Blade Center. The smartest way to optimize our IT. Easier to deploy, more flexible. We don't need all those cables anymore.
The IBM Blade Center and quad-core Intel Xeon processor.
Back in the Bronx, the Yankees 4 and the Red Sox 1 as Boston goes to the bullpen again for right-hander Mike Timlin. An opportunity for us to tell you about our game next week. We're going to be at Wrigley Field in Chicago as the Cubs take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers trying to get back into it, both in the NL West and the wild card race, and the Cubs are currently the leaders in the NL Central, but with St. Louis and Milwaukee not far behind. 8 Eastern, 1 week from tonight. The Dodgers and the Cubs. Here's a visual look at the National League Central with 3 teams still realistically competing for one spot in the postseason. Mr. Phillips, are the Cubs the team to beat?
I think they probably are at this stage. I think they're the most well-balanced team in that division. Brewers kind of falling off, though. Ben Sheets today went 5 innings, left with a 2-1 lead and giving him a chance to win.
Now here's Mike Timlin making career appearance number 999. Began his big league career with Toronto back in 1991 and actually picked up the save in 1992 when the Blue Jays won the World Series. He's been a closer for a variety of teams in the last 4 or 5 years. He's been a quality setup man for the Red Sox, although he has had a kind of an injury-plagued season this year, but the last month or so he's back and he's pitching well again.
And I ran into who he's going to catch soon. This 999th appearance. Goose Gossage in the ballpark tonight is 12th at 1,002.
Goose still looks menacing, doesn't he?
Yes.
He's really a nice guy.
Yeah, really
you shake hands with him and he just devours your hand.
Timlin will become the 13th pitcher ever to record 1,000 appearances. He'll face Andy Phillips with Hideki Matsui at second and Jorge Posada at first. And pitch way up and in for ball 1. On deck is Robinson Cano should the inning continue. Phillips came on as a pinch runner last inning for Jason Giambi and then stayed in the game at first base. Outside, ball 2.
Find it interesting, Jason Varitek doing the same signals to Mike Timlin as well, and a lot of times each pitcher may have his own little quirk or relationship with the catcher, how they do it, but Varitek doing the same signs with Timlin.
And a play, 2-1.
Timlin throwing a little cutter like a la Mariano Rivera right here. Came fastball up and in, and then back-to-back cutters. Look at that glove. You think that's been through in all 999 appearances? The glove looks like it's been through a war.
It's not the 3-finger glove they had when you were playing, but it certainly has been around for a while. It's like a camouflage glove.
ever heard of that Bob Seger song, Turn the Page? On a long and lonesome highway east of Omaha.
I'm from Detroit. Of course I've heard that.
I figured you had. That's why I brought it up. I'm like, it's Bob Seger, all right? Turn the page.
You guys get along so well off the air.
You know, Shortland laughs every time I do that stuff, so I got to keep doing it.
I'm staying out of it. You two, I'll let you two fight it out. Full count.
No, you're right. You're not nearly as old as you look.
Where every one of these Yankee Red Sox games played at a pace where every pitch has the fate of the baseball world riding on it. These two teams grind out at bats more than anybody else, and there seem to be more 3-2 counts at Yankee Red Sox games than any other rivalry.
Manager manages it like it's the 7th game of the World Series.
Runners are going, and it is popped up back at first. Euclid in foul territory to end the inning. A run in for the Yankees on the Alex Rodriguez home run. 4-1 New York through 7.
What a nightmare.
Without silent armor tires, getting home could be a real pain.
That's why I became a blimp pilot, to avoid all that stuff.
Not the main reason, but definitely in the top 10.
Goodyear Silent Armor technology, featuring a layer made with Kevlar, a material that's pound for pound 5 times stronger than steel for toughness, and a comfort zone for a smooth, quiet ride.
What else is in the top 10?
The gift shop.
Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear, get there.
We did it. For the clutch players, our beds, our lobbies. Courtyards changed it all. For the go-tos, the can-dos. Deep mattresses and crisp sheets. Wide open spaces with Wi-Fi, easy chairs, and freshly stocked 24-hour markets. All for them, for the pros who suit up and take the field.
Courtyard, redesigned by business travelers for business travelers.
Go team.
After a house fire. One call to Farmers Help Point could fix that. Farmers Help Point. Sanity makes a comeback.
Take a look at the American League Central. Every night is like Game 7.
Oh, what a finish!
Indians, Tigers, Tigers, Twins. Half the country's on summer vacation. These guys are playing like this Frost and the Pumpkin.
Scored dive!
3-game set. It's like a mini World Series. You like drama? You like plots? One little fall preview? There's only one postseason. There's only one fall classic. There's only one October.
ESPN Wednesday Night Baseball is presented by Goodyear, innovative technology to help you get there. And in part by Courtyard by Marriott, redesigned by business travelers for business travelers. And Delta Farce, coming to DVD and Blu-ray disc September 4th.
Back at Yankee Stadium with Oral Hershiser and Steve Phillips. I'm Dan Shulman. A 4-1 Yankees over the Red Sox. In front of, among others, John Madden. Watching the game here tonight. There he is. So this game's taking a toll on him too.
Rolled it into the Madden mobile.
The Madden Cruiser.
Where's that parked in the parking lot out there?
We need a cruiser. There's David Ortiz, who homered his last time up off Roger Clemens. Kyle Farnsworth into the game for the Yankees. Has not allowed a run in his last 7 appearances. Just 1 hit in the 7 innings he's worked in those 7 appearances. So back into the good graces of Joe Torre, and with the Jabba rules, which we have discussed extensively tonight, Farnsworth getting a little setup time here tonight.
Well, there were some Farnsworth rules this year as well for the Yankees that he kind of said he didn't pitch effectively with back-to-back appearances, so they weren't trying to use him in multiple days in a row.
And why would that be? I mean, the guy is 6'3", 240, throws 98 miles an hour. What is it about him that he wasn't pitching on back-to-back days?
If He doesn't
Maybe
feel
that.
full bore. He feels like his confidence is shattered.
I think he just hit the bull. The movie Bull Durham.
Well, David Ortiz hit an 86-mile-an-hour hanging split. He's going to have to turn it up a notch here. He did the first swing off of Kyle. Kyle's hit 99 a couple times already.
Three and one, and they'll get grumpy quickly with Farnsworth, even if he's been untouchable his last 7 appearances. In this kind of a situation, protecting a lead, if he starts to falter, they'll let him hear about it soon.
This is the kind of guy he wants to go right after. 0 for 6 with 4 Ks against Ortiz.
You don't want base runners right now.
Challenges him, and it's fouled back, a full count.
Raquel Farnsworth has gotten in trouble in the past in his career by throwing too many sliders. He has that explosive fastball, and he gets slider happy, and he slows it down, and if it's flat, he gives the hitter a better plane and a better speed to be able to hit.
Popped in the air to center field. One down. Time now to check out our game track again. Johnny Damon hurts his former club with another big hit, a 2-run single back in the bottom of the second. Roger Clemens took a no-hitter into the 6th inning tonight, although he walked 5 batters. The first hit that he gave up was to David Ortiz, an upper deck home run in the 6th that made it 3-1 at the time. Then the Yankees answered back in the bottom of the 7th with Alex Rodriguez clubbing his major league leading 44th home run of the season. 4-1 Yankees. Boston now batting in the top of the 8th. The batter Mike Lowell hitting cleanup in the absence of Manny Ramirez tonight. Lowell's 0 for 3. Last year had a second half fade, but no fade this season. 93 RBIs. And just shared American League Player of the Week with his teammate David Ortiz.
Free agent at the end of the season as well.
Slider for a strike.
Pretty amazing this game is still in the balance. Manny Ramirez not in there tonight, but the Yankees with 14 hits and maybe one of the ugliest 2 hitters you're ever going to see.
6 Yankee pitcher walks in the game. In addition to the 2 hits, a hit batter as well.
Fastball down and away. 99 miles an hour. You can see the improvement from a year ago. The sustained excellence this season offensively from Mike Lowell. The club leader in RBIs. Grounded up the middle, and it'll get through for a base hit as we go to the studio for an update.
All right, Dan, check out this ending, the Mets and the Phillies. 3-2 Phils, top 9 Mets with runners at the corners and 1 out. Sean Green to short, flips to second for 1, and Marlon Anderson goes barreling into Taguchi at second base. They call interference. So the double play stands. Run does not count. You take another look. Clearly, Anderson going after the second baseman, and the Phils win it in bizarre fashion. 3-2, Dan.
Now, guys, what do you think?
I think accurately called by C.B. Buckner. It looked like out there at second base. I don't know. What'd you think, Steve?
Looked like he got a piece of the bag when he slid by it, didn't he?
You think he could have reached the bag?
He touched it when he slid by.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure they would have turned the double play anyways. The run would have scored.
There's Kevin Youkilis. His first pitch swinging, hits a line drive, deep left field, and gone. Youkilis makes it a 1-run game. Now the question is it Boston fans saying Uke, or is it Yankee fans booing Farnsworth?
I think it's yes.
No matter how hard you throw, you need secondary stuff. You need to be able to get the hitter off your fastball. That can be hit by a lot of big leaguers, and especially somebody like Kevin Youkilis looking to drive the ball to pick up for the power shorters of no Manny Ramirez.
Well, Kevin Youkilis has been cheating a little bit. He's been pulling off the ball. That's a ball that threw it into an area where he shouldn't be able to put it in play. If you throw it down and away and execute your pitch, they go in for a fastball away. He ran it into the wheelhouse where Youkilis right now is the only plane that he can hit.
How about a guy who almost never swings at the first pitch in this kind of a situation, jumping on one from Farnsworth and hitting a home run?
All night tonight he's been swinging at first pitch. David Ortiz as well.
And that's going to get him busy out in the pen. It's Edouard Ramirez and Mariano Rivera. The lead is down to 1. Boston batting with a 1 out here in the 8th inning, and the batter is J.D. Drew. Takes a slider, high ball 1, and Drew has had monster success against Farnsworth.
Well, that's the kind of matchup that might get you out of your slump, too.
Well, J.D. Drew is a high fastball hitter for a left-handed hitter, and Kyle Farnsworth's mistakes are up. Also, J.D. Drew likes the ball out over the plate. He has kind of a long swing for a lefty. So you can see this matchup why J.D. Drew has done so well.
And again, not to belabor the point, but if the Jabba rules don't exist, Jabba Chamberlain is in the game this inning. This is his job as the setup guy. He has been untouchable, but because he pitched an inning yesterday, the rules state that he gets a day off today.
Now, the one thing to say is one of the reasons why he's been untouchable is that he's not fatigued at all from pitching from multiple days. So I think that he's been very well protected, leading to the quality performance.
On the corner, 2-2.
The Java rules are almost like instructional league. When you send your top prospect down to instructional league, he's already had a year's work. You know, we want him to work on these things, but don't pitch him too much. And this is a pretty expensive instructional league right here.
And with every game meaning so much to the Yankees fighting for their playoff lives. And he chases a slider. Drew is gone 2 down.
Well, he kept pounding fastballs in there and finally went to the slider, Earl.
If you think about all the compliments we laid out for Josh Beckett about the two-seamer keeping it down, what that does to affect his breaking ball, the hanging slider he starts him off with, the fastball we've seen away from Beckett also. This is Josh Beckett stuff in a reliever, 96, 97 miles an hour, but he's got to have better location. But when he got the fastball down, got it near the plate, it set up the breaking ball in the dirt.
J.D. Drew had a 2-0 count, got 2 fastballs that he's got to be aggressive and drive. You've got a 1-run game here. 2-0 count. You've got to look for a fastball you can drive out of the ballpark. He took him.
And a short porch in right field here.
Here's Jason Varitek. The Yankees winning 5-3 last night to get within 7 of Boston, leading 4-3 here tonight. They'll wrap up the series tomorrow afternoon here in the Bronx. Chin-Ming Wang against Curt Schilling. Kevin Youkilis' 2-run home run off Kyle Farnsworth has made this a 1-run game as Farnsworth falls behind again. It's 2-0.
You know, see Jason Varitek's approach here. 2-0 count. Farnsworth has to come in with a fastball now. See if he can dial it up and drive one.
Oral, do you think everything is a way to try to keep the Boston hitters in the big part of the ballpark, or is he just not comfortable pitching inside?
Well, he has a tendency to really kind of overthrow, and his ball straightens out when it's on the inner half of the plate. I think you have 2 reasons. His ball has some life on the outer half of the plate, and he doesn't want to make a mistake inside. But right here, he could be a 3-0 count. You swing to an area and hope he throws it there. If not, you miss it. You cheat.
Right down the middle, 3-1.
See, that's got to be swung at just like the J.D. Drew 2-0 fastball. You cheat on the ball.
We've got Coco Crisp on deck, who's a singles hitter. You've got to be in a position you could drive the ball and at least get an extra base position and get a double, if not hit it out of the ballpark. But you've got a 3-1 pitch, same thing. He's got to come in with a fastball.
I cheat right here if I'm the batter.
He does, but he comes up empty, 3-2.
But see, I like that swing on the 3-0 pitch because the 3-0 pitch was the one to hit. Here he cheats. He says, I'm going to swing no matter what, and he hopes it's in the good area. But the 3-0 pitch was the cookie.
Now they're back behind Farnsworth. 2 outs, nobody on, full count. Out of play.
So you look at the difference between that swing 3-2, looking for a base hit, looking to get on, and the swing he made on the 3-1 pitch. veteran baseball hitters, if you're sitting at home going, what's he mean by cheat? Why would you do that? You just want to get on. No, you have 600 at-bats over the year. There are certain at-bats where you take that risk. You take the shot. You buy the lottery ticket and say, I'm going to swing really hard for an area and hope he gets it in my area so I can tie this game up.
Alec Baldwin feeling it here tonight, trying to help out Farnsworth, who's already given up a 2-run home run. Again, the 3-2, and it's low, ball 4. The tying run is aboard. And here comes Joe Torre. So Farnsworth cannot deliver the 3 outs that Torre asked of him here tonight. And it's going to be Mariano Rivera. Joe Torre will ask his closer for 4 outs tonight to try to preserve this Yankee lead.
What a nightmare.
Without silent armor tires, getting home could be a real pain.
That's why I became a blimp pilot, to avoid all that stuff.
Not the main reason, but definitely in the top 10.
Goodyear Silent Armor technology, featuring a layer made with Kevlar, a material that's pound for pound 5 times stronger than steel for toughness, and a comfort zone for a smooth, quiet ride.
Number 4, employee cafeteria. Number 3, the ladies love the uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear, get there.
What's true for shrimp cocktail is true for all cocktails. Always in moderation.
I'm Tony Sinclair, and that's how you turn correct.
I remember watching that on TV with my dad. I was just a little guy, so it was just another home run to me. But my dad leaned over and said to me, Charlie, remember this day. And remember, you can do anything. Whenever I see footage of that home run, I think about Hank. And I think about my dad.
This personal home run moment brought to you by State Farm.
There's a new home run champion.
You are cordially invited to the event from Lexus. The summer sales event where you'll find unexpected values on the Lexus you've always wanted. But like summer, it won't last forever. The event, now through September 4th. See your Lexus dealer.
One of the great closers in the history of the game, Mariano Rivera, is into the game here in the 8th inning with a man on 2 down and the Yankee lead down to 1 after Kyle Farnsworth surrendered a 2-run home run to Kevin Youkilis. Rivera struggled some at the beginning of the year, including against the Red Sox a couple of times, and had a little dip again in the last couple of weeks, giving up runs in 3 straight appearances. Did pick up the save last night, 21 now on the season. A very low total, as Steve documented earlier. The Yankees have not had very many save situations this year. Farnsworth, 2 outs, 2 runs allowed, and the man on his responsibility. And now the Bronx has turned into Motown as Rivera comes in to face Coco Crisp, who's 0 for 3 and 2 for 9 in his career against Rivera. For a strike, and Chris was looking for that cutter in, and instead he throws it toward the outside corner.
Well, we talk about protecting arms. Mariano Rivera, 434 career saves. 95 of those saves have been with 4 or more outs. He's been called upon to execute.
Something that Joe Torre has tried to get away from and has vowed to get away from, but then you get into this kind of a situation, and he's the best guy you've got. As Mark Carlson tries to explain to Coco Crisp why, in his opinion, that ball was not low.
Gets so conscious of that cutter in on the hands.
Grounded back to the mound. Rivera almost slipped, but he recovers to make the play and gets the final out of the inning. On to the bottom of the 8th here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees up 4-3.
For every game and every team, Baseball Tonight, every night on ESPN.
The NASCAR Nextel Cup Series on ESPN. The race to the chase intensifies as Dale Jr. fights to make it in. The NASCAR Nextel Cup Series at California, presented by Principal Financial. Sunday at 7 on ESPN.
Come on, boy.
Hey, my boyfriend was beaten to death.
The Brave One is an electrifying thriller, compelling, fascinating, a true shocker. Jodie Foster.
I want my dog back.
The Brave One, rated R, starts September 14th.
How can you get pizzeria taste without the pizzeria place? With new DiGiorno Ultimate, pizzeria taste right in your home. New DiGiorno Ultimate uses whole milk mozzarella, plump mushrooms and sausage, thick pepperoni, and julienne peppers for authentic pizzeria taste. But while the pizzeria seats you next to the team from Manny's Plumbing,
guys. That's great.
with new DiGiorno Ultimate, you sit by someone much nicer.
This really worked out.
For ultimate pizzeria taste, it's new DiGiorno Ultimate.
How you doing?
You are cordially invited to the event, the summer sales event from Lexus. The event, now through September 4th.
What's that? Oh, Orbitz has notified 6 people for me that our flight was late.
And those are the 6 you chose?
Yep.
How come I'm not up there?
Because you're here with me. You know our flight was late because you're here with me.
I would have put you in mine.
Orbitz TLC gives you free updates to keep you a step ahead. Only at Orbitz.com.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Back at Yankee Stadium, the bottom of the 8th inning. The Yankees now clinging to a 1-run lead over the Red Sox, trying to make it 2 in a row over Boston and to move into a tie for the wild card lead with Seattle. And a win tonight would also move the Yankees within 6 of the Red Sox with another game to play tomorrow afternoon. For all the news and action from around the majors today and tonight, it's Baseball Tonight coming up next year on ESPN2 with Carl Ravitch, Tim Kirchin, Dusty Baker, and Peter Gammons. So stay tuned for that.
That's a full house.
That is.
A cavalcade of stars.
Oh, wow. Cavalcade.
It's a big word for this late in the evening, Steve.
Wow.
That took some guts.
I stole it. Steve Berthew, who
uses it all the time. Where's that word out if he's home watching us?
Robinson Cano will get it started. Mike Timlin is back on the mound for the Red Sox. Mariano Rivera getting the last out in the top of the 8th inning as Cano fouls one off. And let's look ahead to the top of the 9th and the scheduled hitters for the Red Sox. They're 9-1 and 2 hitters. Eric Hinsky, Julio Lugo, and Dustin Pedroia. Manny Ramirez did not start this game, out with a slightly strained oblique. But I don't know about you guys. The impression I got before the game is he is completely unavailable tonight.
Well, you take a look at him there. He's not back in the cage, taking some swings, getting loosened up. So I think unlikely. Bobby Kilty as well, out with back spasms and an injury from last night. And a switch hitter that come off bench. It really leaves Kevin Cash, the backup catcher, a right-handed hitter, and Alex Cora, the slight hitting left-handed hitter.
Ground ball to short. Cano retired 1 down. The Red Sox would need to get 1 man on to get David Ortiz to the plate of the 9th. Let's get an update back in the studio.
All right, Dan, we'll show you how it finished in Cleveland. 4-3 Indians over the Twins. Brian Busher to first base, step on first, throw to second. There's your double play. And the Tribe now 4 up on Detroit in the AL Central, and that would slip to 4.5 if, in fact, the Royals-Tigers score holds up. All 5 of those KC runs coming off Andrew Miller in the first. Guys?
Well, how much trouble are the Tigers in right now? It is starting to get away from them, and Cleveland is playing some great baseball. Melky Cabrera, the batter. Remember, we did a game and talked to Eric Wedge, and he basically said, hey, we're not young anymore. It's go time. I mean, let's see what we're made of here, and they've been made of the right stuff in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they have been through the wars, and these young men need to come to head. And they've been very, very close and then melted down, or they've gotten off to slow starts and buried themselves, and this is their year.
Cabrera with a pop-up for Lowell at third. 2 down.
Now, when you look at the formula for the Cleveland Indians, they started really struggling in the second half, but it was because they weren't hitting. Their pitching stayed consistent. CC Sabathia, Fausto Carmona, Paul Bird were being very effective. The bats weren't there. Now the bats have come back to support the good pitching, and they're getting on the hot streak.
Jake Westbrook started to come around. Paul Bird's kind of having a quiet, good year. Cliff Lee.
Bringing him back up from the minor leagues for September, and to back up that rotation.
Here's Johnny Damon with 2 outs, nobody on. The Yankees leading 4-3, batting in the bottom of the 8th inning. By the way, if it should get to David Ortiz facing Mariano Rivera, Ortiz has really good numbers against Rivera. 7 for 19, a .368 average, including a home run. He's due up 4th in the top of the 9th inning as Damon takes a high strike, 1-1.
We talk about David Ortiz and the numbers he put up in the 8th or 9th inning or later. The 8th inning or later last year, the game tied or behind. When he gave the lead, he hit .395 in those situations with 4 home runs. This year only hitting .200 in those clutch late game situations.
I think that has to do with the lack of power from Manny protecting him. They've been both ways.
I think Superman can't stay Superman forever.
Yeah.
Sometimes they throw kryptonite in there.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can do it as consistently as he has. I think also the health for David Ortiz has not been there. He had the shoulder strain in the legs.
Says he's feeling better, and the numbers reflect that. Ortiz has a home run tonight and 4 in his last 5 games as the always peaceful looking Rivera awaits his next opportunity after getting the last out in the 8th inning. Damon reaching for it to stay alive. Well, have you ever seen one pitcher rely as much on one pitch as Mariano Rivera does on his cutter and has for so many years?
Well, he has, but he also has made an adjustment. And I know you, Dan, you just set me up, but he's a pitcher that was a cutter and a fastball. Then he was 2-seamer at times. Then he went cutter away and cutter in. And so he has made the adjustments over the year. I think that Coco Crisp at bat where he got him out on 3 cutters away was a telltale sign of that he has made huge adjustments. Normally he come in and just blow his bat up with fastballs in and cutters in. And now he stayed completely away from it.
It only took about 10 years until he was forced to make some adjustments.
Exactly. You know 12 years around the league, he had to make an adjustment.
434 career saves for Mariano Rivera. The 2-2 to Damon. And liner to center field to end the inning. So we will go to the 9th. Hinske, Lugo, and Pedroia to face Rivera with the Red Sox down a run.
Heat. Enemy of engines. Enemy of heat? Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic, with adaptive molecules that continually separate and reform to help conquer heat. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
When you love something, don't keep it a secret. Tell your friends and family. Tell them how much you love your Dish Network satellite service with 100% digital picture, low pricing, great programming, and oh yes, award-winning customer service. So have your friends and family call Dish Network 1-888-347-4176.
Bam. Da, da. Ba, 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 ba.
Woo.
The next big idea in fuel is corn. Corn-raised E85 ethanol.
And no one offers more E85 Flex Fuel models than Chevy. Not Toyota, not Honda. It's cleaner burning, mostly renewable, and reduces our dependence on petroleum. Chevy, that's an American revolution.
Eric Hinske will lead off the ninth for the Red Sox. Boston trailing the Yankees 4-3. David Ortiz is due up fourth here in the ninth inning. He'll be preceded by Hinske, Lugo, and Pedroia. Mariano Rivera got the last out in the eighth inning with a man aboard and now begins the ninth. Hinske 0 for 2 with a walk tonight, 3 for 10 lifetime against Rivera. And a cutter for a strike, but again not jamming him, more to the outer half of the plate. This. Now Hinske says, A, I wasn't looking for it out there, and B, how can you call that a strike?
Well, a hitter normally when he sees the ball in the outer half of the plate from a right-handed pitcher thinks it's going to continue to be away. Mariano throwing a cutter out there allows the ball to ride back towards the lefty and stay on the corner.
Out there, huh?
Well, we said early on, Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire, has given the down and away and the up and away pitch against left-handed hitters, and Rivera's just pounding that as Posada realizes that as we get to the ninth inning.
The location of the pitch may be different, but the result is the same. Let's go to Scott Reese in the studio for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
All right, Dan, in case you missed it, strange ending to the Mets and the Phils. Interference called on base runner Marlon Anderson. Tying run would have scored. Instead, double play. Phils win at 3-2 and are now just 3 back of New York in the NL East. And earlier today, Vladdy Guerrero going up top. Career home run number 360. Angels knock off the Mariners, which means the Yankees are 2 outs away from being tied for the wild card lead. SportsCenter 11 Eastern ESPN, and stay current with ESPN News. Dan?
Well, Scott, the races are heating up. We're on the cusp of September. And as you said, 2 more outs for the Yankees here tonight, and they move into a tie for the wild card lead. Here is Julio Lugo to take down and away ball 1.
That's the first cutter we've seen to the opposite side of the plate. Mariano has faced 2 left-handers thus far. Every pitch was a cutter away from a lefty. Let's see how he works the right-handers.
Coming in, and he jams him. A one-hopper down to third. Alex Rodriguez on to first. 2 down. Celebs have hung in for the last out of the night. Dustin Pedroia will be the batter, and he must reach to get David Ortiz to the plate. Pedroia 0 for 1 lifetime. That's it against Rivera. The Yankees 4 and the Red Sox 3 with 2 outs here in the ninth, and a big Poppy hoping for an opportunity. He's thrown 1 pitch to the inside corner since he came into the game. 1 pitch to Lugo. That's it. Two count on Pedroia, who won't get cheated.
No, I was going to say, not really the 2-strike approach you're looking for. How about a single and let Big Poppy hit it out? You don't have to tie it up yourself. He does not get cheated at all.
Manny Ramirez unavailable tonight, leading over the railing on the top step for the Red Sox dugout. David Ortiz in the on-deck circle. Again, the 0-2.
So Jorge Posada kind of shift over behind Pedroia and kind of kick his feet, making it sound like he was setting up inside, and then he quietly shifted away.
Another play for Rivera. And the Yankees win it to move into a tie for the wild card lead. They have beaten Boston again. They're 6 back of the Red Sox, tied with the Mariners for the wild card lead with a month to go in the season. Johnny Damon, another big hit tonight, a 2-run single. Alex Rodriguez hit a home run, and there are the updated standings. With the Yankees now 6 back of the Red Sox and tied with the Mariners for the wild card lead. And don't forget, Seattle comes to Yankee Stadium for a 3-game series beginning Monday. Mariano Rivera gets 4 big outs as the Yankees beat the Red Sox 4-3. Baseball Tonight, presented by Ruby Tuesday, is coming up next on ESPN2. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
I want to welcome all those of you that just watched the Yankees take care of the Red Sox as Mariano Rivera gets brought in the 8th inning with 2 men out, retires the hitter there, and then goes 1-2-3 in the 9th. Never gets a chance to see David Ortiz. So he saw him. He was in the on-deck circle. He didn't want to go there. So the Yankees win again, and by virtue of that victory, they move another step closer, folks, to the Red Sox. And because of what happened in Seattle, look at the wild card standings. They're tied. Roger Clemens 8-5 in his career against the Red Sox. Giambi with a huge play to get Lugo. A-Rod. Wow, did he get fooled there.
And that's the breaking ball that Josh Beckett has just refined this year to the point where you just can't look for the heater if he's going to throw that thing.
Great breaking ball.
Facing Melky Cabrera, bottom 2 on, 2 out. Cabrera up the middle it goes. Posada's going to score. Cano flies into third. 1-0 Yankees.
2-out RBI.
Next batter, Johnny Damon. He's been a demon against the Red Sox in the last 2 games. Cano and Cabrera score. It's 3-0 Yankees.
3 2-out RBIs.
Red Sox revenge for Clemens and Damon. They're down 3-0 against Ortiz. Deep to left field. Inning over. No hits for the Red Sox. That yard, you want to yank the ball if you're a left-handed hitter. Base hit here, fielded by Eric Hinsky. A-Rod really never got a good look at it. He thought double all the way.
Ooh.
He's gone too far.
And Dustin Pedroia made a great throw there.
To remove this shrub, we're going to use a chain. Never use a rope or a cable. They could fail and injure you. On this chain, I have a slip hook. It has a wide gap in it. On the other end is a cinch hook, just wide enough for the chain to fit in. What I'm going to do is throw the slip hook around, hook it over the top. Now, as we pull on it, it is just going to get tighter and tighter against the base of that shrub. I'm going to take that won't get any tighter, won't damage the machine, but it'll hold fast. Now we're ready to pull it out.